Welcome to our Rolemaster Actual play session. Ain't No Place for a Hero is a campaign set in the world of Duyranaki, the continent of men. A gritty, cutthroat world where politics, sorcery, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Treachery and murder both come cheap, and characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor.
This is episode 145 of Ain't No Place for a Hero. The party have decided to turn their attention back to the secrets of Tarak Nev, and now find themselves exploring the terrible Dead City. We rejoin our heroes in a ruined, gold-domed temple, pondering what to do next. Hello, my name is Chris, alternatively known on this channel as GM Chance, and as you can see up on screen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our story tonight. What story is that? What are we doing? And what are we playing? Well, we're playing a tabletop role-playing game using the fantastic 1980s vintage role-playing system by the name of Rolemaster. The title of our story, as you can see on screen, is Ain't No Place for a Hero. We have been playing for a very long time. We started in June 2020. We've been playing pretty much exclusively online, although we do get together once a year to roll dice in person. But normally we play online, and we've been playing for a considerable length of time. While we've been playing for quite a while, we only actually started recording these adventures around about episode, I think it was around about episode 60 for this game. We're now up to, I believe, episode 145, I think it is, for this session. We only started recording at the end of 2022. So you may or may not hear some references to things that happened previously. Okay, so we are telling a story. We are telling a tale. To tell a tale, you need protagonists. You need heroes. You need people that are going to excite you and delight you, amuse you, make you think, hopefully make you laugh, perhaps even make you cry. And up on the screen, you can see the 8 faces of the characters that are in play for our game tonight. It's a very large party for a role-playing party. 8 characters in total and 5 players. Although tonight we're actually down 1 player. Our dear friend Graham can't join us on this particular occasion. So if you do the maths, 8 characters, 5 players. Yep, indeed, a number of the players do indeed double up and play more than 1 character. Okay, we are going to jump into our game in a minute or so, but before we do, 2 things. The first is my usual. I say it, but I believe I say it on behalf of the other people in this game. Our thanks to the people that follow us online, our subscribers, the people that comment, give us support, ideas, and just generally show interest in this, which is our hobby. It really is appreciated. Thank you very much for your kind words and your encouragement and all the rest. Really encourage anybody who's sitting on the fence or maybe has found us for the first time. We would dearly love either a like down below or even, much better, a subscribe. It really does help the channel grow and help other people like you find our tales. That's the first thing. The second thing I was going to say was I mentioned that we catch up in person occasionally, and we did so in October last year. We're recording in April 2025 currently, so in October 2024 we met up in person. And when we did so, one of the things we did was each one of the players came up with a quiz, which they quizzed their fellow players about the character that they play. How well do they know that character, their likes, their dislikes, etc. And we had a lot of fun doing that. We're nearly at the end of those recordings because we've inserted one in each time we've played since. I think we have either one or two more. I think tonight is going to be for Grey Rough Winds, but I might be wrong. We're going to go to that recording. We're going to cut to that edit right now.
Hello again. This is Aidan, and I am quizzing the team on whether they know Grey very well at all. So we're up to question number 6. How many death saves does Grey have left? This came out recently. I thought it was more. Okay, A, 3, B, 2, C, 1, D, none.
D, none.
It's C.
Oh,
Take the point.
everyone except me again. Yeah.
All right. Question number 7. How does Grey like to unwind? A, meditation and breathing exercises. B, whittling woodland creatures. C, casting fly and soaring through the sky with winging. D, dance. Do you want that again?
Yep.
So A, meditation and breathing exercises.
Yeah.
B, whittling woodland creatures. C, casting fly and soaring through the sky with winging. And D, dance.
B.
Yes, everybody wins.
A bit of whittling.
Whistling.
But he also does love flying around with winging.
Yeah.
And he also can do dance.
Yeah, he loves that. Which comes to question 8. What does Grey like to play when he drinks? A, cards. B, darts. C, charades. D, dice. Yeah, everybody. Giles.
Oh, no.
Dance.
He doesn't love charades. He doesn't like song.
You said dance. The ANTE.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Never mind. Never mind.
Okay, question number 9.
2 seconds.
What code name does Grey like to choose for himself? A, Graham. B, Ronan. Ronan. C, Silver. D, Dusky.
Oh, God, I've not heard any of them.
I have.
Yeah, yep.
Say that again.
A,
How
Graham.
about the first
You
one?
surely have heard Graham before. B, Ronan. C, Silver. D, Dusky.
I think it might not be this. I think it might be this. I'm going to regret changing it.
C. What have you done?
Yeah, I think it's the one. You've actually mentioned this in game.
What have you done?
Ronan.
No, it was Silver.
Oh.
C,
Yeah.
Silver, and I think the other code name
Doing?
is Janet.
What's that sort?
Yeah, that's right. When they were going into
Janet is better.
Yeah.
that was Jada.
Yes, Janet was
Janet.
Janet. Was Janet. All right.
Janet.
Question number 10. What is Grey's favourite colour?
Oh.
Is it A, yellow, B, sapphire blue, C, forest green, or D, grey? So it's A, yellow, B, sapphire blue, C, forest green, or D, grey.
I think he'd look lovely in forest green.
I really
I
want
think
to
he
put
loves,
grey.
he loves money, doesn't he? So I'm going to go
He
yellow.
does. I didn't actually think about that, and it's actually C, forest green.
Oh,
It's the colour of Kurosai. I don't know if either grey.
Oh,
Even
that
better.
will be from now on.
Yellow. I mean, I'm actually going to give you half a point for yellow because he does love money.
Shiny.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There we go. Hope you enjoyed that recording, and as you might be able to tell by the giggling and the general amusement, we had a lot of fun doing it. You can probably just hear me slightly off camera chortling into my microphone. So, we spend quite a bit of time on this channel getting to know the characters. We think it's important because it creates a richer story to understand the faces, these fictional people up on screen a bit better. So as well as doing things like the quizzes, one of which you've just seen now, at the beginning of each week, I send out a series of questions to the players for them to mull over and then answer, as we're about to do right now. These questions are designed to unearth a bit more information about each one of the characters. And tonight, we're kicking it off with Giles. Giles, the mic is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So I play Tarquin. He's a pretty young half-elf, and I'm going to answer two questions. They're the same answer. So what is the most profound philosophical idea your character has grappled with, and how does your character feel about the concept of destiny? Well, it would be fair to say that prior to departing from his destroyed hometown, he would have considered there to be no concept of destiny. Your future was fated. And the profound philosophical idea he is starting to grapple with is that might not be true. And has led to some slightly unusual behaviour, I think, from him, and has caught me out by surprise occasionally. He tries to figure out what he can and can't get away with, and some of how that then makes him feel when he is moving away from what is his destined path. And that obviously can feel awkward if it's all you've known for your entire life. Yeah, so that's Tarquin.
Excellent, thank you.
I'm also playing Nathaniel tonight, but I'm not going to answer a question for Nathaniel. I don't feel that brave.
Fair enough.
But somebody else might know obviously what the answer to one of these is. Who's been in the party with Nathaniel for longer.
Sure thing. So just my thanks to you, Giles, for picking up Nathaniel. As mentioned, Graham, unfortunately, who usually plays Nathaniel, can't be with us tonight. Anybody like to volunteer something for Nathaniel? No problem. If not, we can move on. All good? Cool. Giles, who would you like to hear from next, please?
So let's hear from you, Pete.
Sure thing. Thanks, Giles. Yeah, no, that was very complex. I wouldn't dare to answer that either. Sure, I'm Pete. I'll be playing two characters tonight, first of which is Leif. Question for him is, what's the most valuable piece of information your character has acquired? Not specifically him, but I think, the party in general. I believe it would be Tiroglostrod. There you go. That's the most important piece of information. That was the name of the demon guarding the gates into Tarak Nev. I don't know how things would have fared for us if we didn't have that demon's name, because that certainly, whilst it meant we walked into its mouth, I don't know how else we would have made it into the city. I bet there would be yucky, awful defences if we hadn't sort of had that information. That's pretty important. Especially for our quest. I would also like to mention the information from Ningwen for our party, which has sort of set this, the Defiler, the guy who's sort of maybe been coming back through the Rite of Azza, that this whole information that for our quest that we got from Ningwen, I think is also really, really important, because it sort of helps to explain why we were being attacked by divine beings and demons. Because that was quite left field. We were like, what's happening here? So to have more of that context was really useful to understand the bigger picture. But yeah, important information.
Super.
The second, sorry.
Yeah, cool.
Next, the other character I'll be playing tonight is Mithan. And actually, it sort of links in very nicely. What's the most haunting vision or dream your character has had? Well, the series, and I think many in the party have experienced this almost, the series of images we'd received, and now we know that perhaps from these divine beings that are either sort of looking out for us, or from the gods, or who knows what. I don't know exactly how it's related, but I think because of the quest we're on, and there's this weird series of images we get of sort of this odd bird that flies at us, the image of the dagger that we've actually been able to find, but it being very powerful, and just all these images and feelings, really odd sequence, and really sort of, I mean, they're sort of surrounded by importance as well, because we're seeing some of them come true. We've seen a couple of places that we've actually seen on this, recently, of Tarak Nev. The sort of stairs that go up, and and we think it's Irene Chonta, the woman with white hair in front of the arch. But there's many other parts of these visions: the army and what we're taking to be the Star's Grave, the huge sort of blasted plain. Odd and sort of foreshadowing, and it's like, oh, that's where we're going, and it's pretty scary. And interesting to see some of them, as I say, unfold, and now we sort of can divide, guess some of the meaning of some of them, which is really cool.
Just since Pete, you were
Oh,
giving
thank
them a
you.
shout out, you mentioned some of these.
It's the dagger that Keros is holding.
So it maybe might be useful. Talk people and just any comments around any of these, jump in.
I believe that's the staircase we've seen, correct? On the shore of the Lake of Fire. We went up and sort of had a wee nosy around there because we felt it was important. Didn't come to any conclusions, but who knows? That was sort of dislocating us at Tarak Nev. That's the dagger, and I think the description we had, the vibe we got was it's close because at the time it was, because this was in the north when we first started seeing these visions. It emanates power and it's got a sense of missing something, of not being whole. We're guessing. So this is a weapon designed for killing the bad guy, the Defiler, I think his name was.
M.E.R.P the Defiler.
Thank you very much. I always forget. M.E.R.P the Defiler, and the thing that's missing would be now a Defiler's Bane, which is the sword, which I believe, there we are, that we're hoping to find in Tarak Nev. So that's perhaps why the dagger, the sense from the dagger and the sense from the sword, because they're both missing something, both of immense power, but we're assuming that when we get them both together and meet M.E.R.P, if he comes back, hopefully we'll be able to use them against him.
Cool.
We'll see.
I wasn't planning on doing this, but since you touched on the images, you just commented on them, so I'll zip through the others.
Oh, that's the image we assume is Irene Chonta in front of the arch nearer the city we first arrived in on our way to Tarak Nev. That we're assuming is Krakoa, the Star's Grave, and we believe that's where Day Zero is going to be taking place, like where people will meet to demonstrate their weapons to the Turang sort of Pollock committee, the people who make the decision about how they want to take down the old order sort of thing. I'm not sure. I assume this is also near the Star's Grave. We're not entirely sure. All of these images of where it's probably where this terrible Day Zero is going to be happening. Big pit in the earth, and not sure about the armies. We might be, or that we might have allies here doing this fighting, I believe. And there's M.E.R.P the Defiler, we believe, the Watcher in the Night. He's somehow linked to the comet that's coming, the false iron shower. I can't remember what the Lonely Tail, I think it's called. And so somehow this Rite of Aza is going to bring him back, which is a really scary thought. And this comet has something to do with the decline in magic that we're experiencing. And then maybe the end of magic. So
excellent, thanks, Pete. And I had no intention of doing some game lore in there, but since you mentioned them, and since I have the images handy, there you go. Cool, thank you.
Can we please hear from Aidan next?
Hello, thank you, Pete. I'm playing 3 characters today. So the first character I'm going to answer for is Demos.
Demos for a change.
Demos act when unexpected challenges change their plans. And Demos is a soldier. So I think what he would do is he'd probably be quite calm under pressure. He would try, he'd been trying not to panic and try and think tactically. I think he'd probably, his first kind of thing to do is just like figure out what's the chain of command, who's kind of leading us, and then he would kind of go to them and figure out what his duty would be in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would just either follow orders or he would maybe take over if he had to and just try and get the party wherever it needs to go safely.
Nice one. Yes, very pragmatic.
Yes, he's a pragmatic man.
Excellent.
And then next character, Gray. What is the most profound philosophical idea that he has grappled with? I would probably say the mission that they're on kind of would have been quite strange for him to start with, at least, because he doesn't believe in organized religion, or he doesn't really believe in any gods or answer to any gods. He wouldn't really. I mean, if you told him that he was trying to save the gods and try and save that kind of religions and all that stuff, he wouldn't really be interested in it. But I think as they've gone on and they've learned more about what's at stake and people's way of life and um, you know elves. He is an elf. Would disappear from the world. Magic would disappear. He's changed his mind, and he's come around and he's all for it.
Excellent.
He's all for the mission.
Into it, and and for perhaps viewers and listeners, because we do have a number of people listening too on the various podcasts. When you first started playing Grey, you were actually in the other party.
Yes.
So you were in the Twilight of the Old Order party, and his mission has changed now that he's changed from one party to another.
Yes, it has.
Cool.
Yep.
Excellent.
As his heart changed.
And speaking of, what a perfect segue. Segue into the very last player for tonight. You mentioned that you're playing 3. Sorry, just to backtrack a little bit. The second of Graham's characters is Etienne, and you and Alex and Pete and others are just going to kind of jointly manage Etienne. You can jointly decide on what.
We're all helping out with Etienne.
We're all helping out, yes, indeed. But yes, one last person to go. Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex, and I play Keros, who is a pretty kick-ass storm mage. And Victory, I don't play Victory. Victory plays herself, the team mascot, most valuable player each game. Love all these questions again, although I do try and avoid the ones where Keros has to remember things like names or visions or places, and every time I hear Pete, I'm like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. But love that for Keros. So I'm going to go into the question, how does your character deal with unexpected changes in their plans? I think before Keros joined the party, she would have been fairly ordered. She was quite studious, probably liked things in the diary, liked party confirmations, would probably turn up sort of at 10 to 8 for an 8 o'clock party kind of gal. I think now she, you just can't make plans, really. You make plans and then someone tries to come and kill you. So she's learnt to chill out a bit and also not sort of ask for RSVPs on things. I mean, she's pretty big on sleep. She is pretty firm on, it's sleep time now, team. And that's so she can sleep and get her PowerPoints back. But she's definitely go with the flow, and she very much is a follower in the sense of plans. She leaves the big decisions up to probably the more intelligent and strategic members of the party. But she's pretty chill.
Excellent. Well met, one and all. So, up on screen, that is the party named, and you've now heard a little bit about each one and a bit more from the players. Now is the time in our game that we turn to our scribe, Pete, and for those that don't know us well, you might have picked up with Pete's encyclopedic description of some of those images and other bits and bobs. Pete does know the game well, and he keeps meticulous notes. Pete, could you please provide us with a quick précis of what happened last session? I'll try to maybe interject with some images and the map as well. Go for it,
Thank
please.
you. And if I'm missing stuff, people just shout out. So our last session started in an abandoned tavern in Taraknev. So we're in the city of the dead, Taraknev, where everything's gone a bit weird. The time doesn't pass normally. Yeah, it's covered in ash. There's ash. We can't see too far in front of us because of the ash. It's a very odd place. There's monsters in the depths. We're just doing the best we can. We had a bit of a run-in on the previous session with a very odd red woman, sort of demon monster thing, and a very big, spiky, nasty guy too. And we'd come off okay because we had some very. There she is. There's the red woman, and there's the spiky guy. Ooh. We had some very skillful people killing things on them. And some
Killing things on them.
Some killing things, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of Neathnal doing the stabbing in the back. She's good at the killing things. But a couple of people had been. Poor Etienne had been out of that fight because he had just happened to be under a building when it collapsed. And poor old Demos had his arm sort of deadified somehow from this guy's bad breath.
Oh,
or
and
whatever it was.
and still has. That was one. Sorry to interject, Pete. I usually go through off camera the status of each character, and I forgot to mention Demos. Yes, your left arm, your shield arm, is numb.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sorry, I should have kept my mouth shut, shouldn't I?
No.
After that fight, that was the previous session, we had retreated to somewhere we'd spotted earlier, which we thought was reasonably defensible for our rest and recuperation during the night. It was this old tavern, and we closed the door, I believe, and sort of stuck a bench or something in front of it. Tarquin had a wee bit of a think about what was up with Demos's arm, and he figured it might have been a bit of a curse, using his demon devil knowledge, and then but not much we could do. Sorry, Demos. We then turned to the poor old Etienne's shattered hand. Mithan ventured she had a herb that she would have to prepare, which is a risk because she's not that great at healing herbs. And she was a bit nervous about that. But then Keros piped up and said, "Oh, I have this amazing spell, which I'll just wave my hands over it, spend 9 power points, and suddenly the herb was ready. Like no risk of wasting that dose through Mithan having a bit of a bad day. So that's what happened. So we're so lucky because that meant that Etienne's hand could be repaired within 24 hours, I believe. Yeah. Right, no, 12 hours. 12 hours.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So thank you, Keros. Very, very helpful spell list. Very helpful spell. We decided to wait for those 12 hours and call it our night. I believe that the light did go down. I didn't write it did. Yeah.
Ish.
But time changed. There's something odd going on with time. Also, poor old Tarquin. We're still not sure what's up with him. He was really unwell, sick and diarrhea, and just having a really bad time of it. Mithan tried to minimal spells to try and help, but no effect. So sorry, Tarquin. Not great. I think the whole party's quite concerned about him and his health. We spent the night, our 8 hours rest, 12 hours to wait for Etienne's hand to recover. We had a bit of a watch, and everything was very quiet until. One part of the night there was a bit of sniffing at the door. We're like, okay, we'll just keep absolutely quiet. And then, just before the end of the night, something started not just sniffing but scratching and breaking the door, and we were like, okay, quietly sort of all got ourselves ready, wanting to, prepare ourselves best we could. But luckily, it seems that another one of the denizens of this place came to our rescue, and there seemed to be what we call a demon fight broke out. And I think it was Grey who sort of peered through the crack in the door or somewhere, and I think it was a creature of tentacles and horns versus the thin air was the fight that happened. Not sure what that's all to do with. There were some really weird sounds, and I think one of them sort of ran off. We're not sure, but something distracted this thing that was trying to break into where we were, which we're very relieved that it didn't break in. The following day, once Etienne's hand had healed, we decided to do our exploring of Taraknev. So we're doing sort of two things here, we're expecting to find the Turang party, trying to find their information about their weapon. So Aurelia Tronta and Horash Ganali, our nemesis, we're expecting them to be somewhere in the city. We're also looking for, as we talked about that before, that sword from the Visions, which is going to be a weapon for us that was specifically made to fight their weapon, which is M.E.R.P the Defiler, who they're wanting to summon back. So, two things for us to do here. That's why we're exploring city. We made our way. We'd seen a gold domed building somewhere, sort of caught glimpse through the ash. We decided we'd sort of try and aim for that. We made our way along this, sort of found this this brick pathway with flecks of gold in it. Mathan cast Path Tail on it, which I'm not sure if it was a good idea which allows her to see who's been on that path in the last however long a time. One of the creatures that looked up and saw her, which is absolutely freaky because they shouldn't be able to do that. It's her spell. So I'm not sure that was a great idea. We didn't go on this path. We sort of followed it. Eventually, we sort of caught a glimpse of this larger domed building through the ash and the sort of mist, and we decided it was it looked quite important, so we'd make our way and try to find our way inside. We made our way around a few of the walls, of the outside walls. It seemed had a bit of fire damage on this golden dome. It's quite a large building with sort of spires on the corners. And eventually someone spotted a small hole that seems to be melted into the inside because we hadn't come across the doors yet. So we sort of snuck in and found ourselves in a temple. We're wondering if it's the Temple of Orgiana, who's the Nereti, the people of Tarak Never, the Nereti, and we're wondering if here we are inside. We're wondering if that's a statue of Orgiana on that in the centre there. I don't believe we've gone up and investigated yet. We're very trap shy. We might have, Giles. Did we? No. Yeah, we wanted to sort of take it slow a bit. We've worked our way around the outside of the we're inside, but checking around each of the walls, finding frescoes, finding other statues and plinths and things, and a tapestry. But I don't think we've found anything particularly of note. I mean, it's all of note, but we'd hardly find out how important things are until afterwards. We are sort of figuring this might be the Temple of Burning Night, maybe, which was the Temple of Orgiana in Tarak Nev, and we had information previously that this might be one of the places in which we'd find Defiler's Bane, which is the sword that we're looking for. So we're really keen to give us a thorough going over. I think that's where we're up to. Please add anything that I've missed.
Excellent. Thank you, Pete. So look, just a bit of narrative from me about the space that you're in, particularly for Alex, who missed the tail end of last session. So this is the space that your characters find themselves in. It's large. To give you a sense of kind of how large. So if we do that, we're talking some 80 or so, 88, 90 foot in width. It's a decent size. In the center of it is this. In the center of this large space are these several flights of stairs going up to. I just realised I've got an extra flight of stairs there. Where did that come from? Okay. Just need to shrink that down a smidge. There we go. Move that out. Rough enough. Up to an altar, so you can see the altar there. There is. I didn't mention this last time, and I should have. There is a plaque in front of the statue. The statue of the woman looks like this. So a youthful woman wreathed with flame, specifically an agate idol, so made out of a particular type of stone, in the shape of a youthful woman, her flesh is simmering with flame. So she's up in the center. Around her, you can see on screen, are these columns of iron. They look like almost like a forest of iron that kind of go around her at the back. I'm just going to move my steps down. Steps. I like the steps there. There we go. Around the rest of the room are these plinths, 12 in number. One there, and so on. And you can see quite a number of the majority of the plinths are empty. But on some, one right there where the characters currently are, and then some down this end, there are some figures. And I'll show you what the figures look like. One looks like that. Second looks like that. And the one closest to you looks like that. And then finally, there is this figure. They're made from black stone. In terms of the rest of this chamber, a few other things of note. Firstly, it does have a ceiling. Pete, you mentioned the gold dome, and directly above you is this high vaulted ceiling. It would be 60, 80, very, very, very high up to this massive golden arch, or this golden dome that you saw outside. There's obviously no ash falling inside, just provides a bit of ambiance, and I had it on when you were exploring outside this the structure. But clearly there is definitely a roof on here. You mentioned, Pete's a hole, and this is this area here, and it looks as though the wall itself has actually been melted. The stone itself has dripped, has melted away, which is unusual. There are 4 doors. 1, 2, 3, 4. One over the back there. And you're assuming, because you came down this side of the building, the side down here, and you entered through this hole here, you're assuming these doors go into the small circular parts at the end of the building. You saw 2 of them, one there and this one here. That's as a guess. What else? There are 2 tapestries, one here, one here, and then just around the building is just decay, broken pottery. Something's ribcage there, something quite large as ribcage, candelabras that have fallen over, and just dust and filth and age and grime. The whole place is quiet, has a feeling of almost expectation. And your characters started, just to clear up any questions, your characters started here and have worked their way down this wall. Oh, sorry, one last thing. Out here is a set of very, very, very stout, massive doors, and they are barred. They actually seem to be very, very intact, and there is a bar of metal, steel, in fact, across the door. Would have been quite a job to get in there. In this little alcove area, not depicted by the GM, so please use your imagination, there are several stone seats, one there and one there, just very plain stone seats, and I meant to add that in since our last session, and did not. You made your way down this wall, and then finally down this wall. Whoops, I've just gone up and out, and that's the scene from outside, by the way. That's the wall that you came down, and you can see there. See all of that, but you can. That was one of the tower things that you saw. Hence the supposition that these doors might well go in there. You have done a circuit of this chamber. You have looked, but you largely haven't touched, other than looking behind the tapestry. So you have moved the tapestries, and then the very last thing you did up this end was taking out the dagger that Keros has, the dagger that you referenced early on, Pete. So yeah, good shout on that. And touching the dagger to the tapestry at the far end. And you may recall some of Mithan's investigations in this building as well, or not. Anyway, that's the situation you guys find yourselves in. You are, in fact, you've done the entire circuit of the room. You've heard nothing. You've listened at each one of these 4 doors, and you are exactly back, standing approximately there. What do your characters do, please?
Sorry, I don't remember. I don't remember Mithan's investigations. I'm sorry, I completely forgot which bit that was. Don't write down everything.
Anybody else?
I think we went around, we looked at each of them, we looked at the tapestries, we touched the stones and the tapestries with the sword, we looked behind each of the tapestries, and essentially have done a 360 of the room. That's where we're up to. Nothing did anything. We did perceptions on each of them looking for locks, stone, somewhere a key or somewhere to put the dagger or something like that. Didn't find anything. So that was the look-see. We've gone nowhere near the middle of the room or the plinth, haven't touched or looked at any of the doors, haven't laid hands on anything.
Correct.
So that's where we're up to.
The tapestry was a demonic hand holding a sword.
Yes,
and
that's
in the
right.
background, white people fleeing, I believe.
Correct. And we looked behind the tapestries too. Nothing behind the tapestries either. Can I check, Chris? Sorry. I should have done this before, but I didn't. What does the skill magic ritual do?
It helps.
I can't remember.
Yep. No, it allows you to cast a magic ritual spell. So it allows you over a period of often hours, sometimes days, to cast often a very, very powerful spell.
But you probably need to go into a bit more.
Yep. That'll take a bit more time. I'd need to read up on it too, but that's essentially.
Don't worry about it. I'll come back to it. What does divination allow a character to do?
Again, encourage you to look up the definition of the skills. Top of my head, it allows you to.
I can't find it. Does someone have access to an online list of the Rolemaster skills? I just don't have a book, for which I apologise. I tried to find them online, but only looked for about 15 minutes before we started playing without success.
So, just go on to this one because it's the closest one to hand. Skill provides a bonus for foretelling the future or perceiving unknown quantities or qualities with the use of divination methods, means and methods. Crystal balls, tarot cards, sticks, tea leaves, gleefully rooting around in the gleaming entrails of freshly dead animals. Dice, palms, etc. Each method must be learned separately. Skill can be also used as a scan from past to the present. Specialities, an individual, and difficulties. If you're trying to figure out what happened in the past or the future, a routine is 12 hours for the past and 10 minutes in the future, versus an absurd is 1 year past plus in the past, and in the future is 6 months.
Okay. So can I just check, team, do we want to go have a little look at Orgiana, who we've met before? When we met Orgiana with the dudes who we paid a load of cash to get past the big red scary dude, some people did not pray. Tarquin did. Who else prayed? So I know that Etienne and Nathaniel did not, but they're the only 3 I can remember.
This is when we got the vision of.
Correct. The big red scary guy with the good name.
Yeah.
Rainbow definitely didn't.
Right. Well, so if nobody else did, the sensible person to go have a look see is Tarquin, except that he's at -25, which is a big problem. And if somebody else did and is not minus, it would make more sense for them to do it.
Yeah.
I don't mind Tarquin doing it. But
No, he was wanting someone who did pray.
that would seem to make sense, right? So God's a god. Someone has already prayed to this god that we think is the same god.
I think that
we need to
Leif
go and have a look. I need to look at the file.
participated. I think Leif would have. Well, actually, when did that happen? That's right.
I remember the session very clearly, right? It's all freaky, and we got the nice picture that Chris drew.
Yeah.
And the big long thing that you read out.
I'm pretty sure Leif would have, because there was another time when Leif was quite nice to gods and things. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was sending prayers or acknowledging stuff. Another time we came across an Orgiana image or whatever. I can't remember exactly what that was, but I do remember him wanting to be aware. He's not worshipping exactly, but he's definitely open to it. Yeah, I'm happy for Leif to go and have a look. Is the answer.
But can I check my demon and devil lore to see if there's anything that would be better to do than local protocol, wouldn't it? Anything that we should be doing when we go and approach the statue of Orgiana in her temple?
Sorry, can you say that again, Charles?
I want to check my demon and devil lore to see if there's anything we should be doing when we approach Orgiana in her temple, which is what one of us is about to do.
Sure. Give me a roll.
And I think someone else had Demon Devil Lore too, didn't they?
Okay, so not near ethanol. So 78 minus 25 is 68, 58, 53 plus. Yeah, I think somebody else might do too. 53 plus 33, 60, 83, 86, Chris.
No, remember it's masked. So what was the dice roll?
So 78 minus 25, 78, 68, 58, 53.
No. Plus 53. Cool. Thank you. Plus 53, and your dice and the dice roll was 78. Is that right?
No. The dice roll is 78, and his demon and devil lore is 33. Minus 25, so it's 8.
Thank you. Okay.
It's kind of useless at the moment.
Yeah. Drawing a blank, I'm afraid. Tarquin. No.
Easy.
Yeah.
So no. I don't know if anybody else does.
Mathan doesn't. But actually, and just sorry, whilst we're sort of discussing, Mathan would just miraculously, she had divine inspiration that what she had remembered was that there was something odd at the other end of the room, and that she couldn't put a weird or out of place, but she couldn't put her finger on, but she'd try again in an hour. So can we note of when there's an hour gone by, and I think we should spend an hour here, and she would like to try again. Also, I think maybe it would be Mathan. Yeah, Mathan would have probably been the one to have read this. I think we all have, but in information, the file from Ningwen, just to put us in the picture, she would, I guess we've all discussed this, but she'd just like to refresh it in everyone's memory. The gods of the Nereti, so that's the gods of the Tarak. Little is known of the origins of the gods of the Nereti. Perhaps the answer to that mystery lies in the source of their greatest and least understood member, Orgiana, Mistress of the Dark. It is said that it was she who first contacted Varama Ver, who's the baddie, when Varama begged darkness to give her power. Orgiana appears as a black-haired woman with skin like polished steel, her sleek limbs wreathed in curtains of flame. So pretty sure this is her temple. The pantheon of Tarak Nev was divided into 4 cults, each worshipping 3 patron deities. The cults catered to specific groups of the Nereti population. So I think that's our 12 plinths around the room, 4 cults with three deities each. So just a little bit of information. I assume I'm okay sharing that. We've all read the file. It's
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
GMs love it when players dispense lore in the game. So absolutely.
Well, it just helps us along with perhaps understanding where we are. Yeah. Did anyone else want to have a think about? Anyone else have any religious? I suppose any religious lore. I guess. Common sense.
Is the Nuretti gods old gods?
No, you've never
Does
heard.
Ethan have anything to do with religious lore? Maybe he could ask his mistress
Be a good idea.
some divine guidance.
Sure. Just to answer Tarquin's question, 100% not old gods. These are deities you guys have never heard before. I mean, this is a big world, and there are lots of localized religions in this world. Many of the ones we've discussed in the past, so the Altumar faith of the Empire of Thamazul, and the old gods, and the Roldanics, etc., some of the really big ones, but there are plenty of other local ones. This is one no one has ever, since before coming to the Sea of Katana, you've never heard of these people, or these gods before.
I'm just going to go have a chit chat.
Yep. Yeah. So Leif will just ask anyone about any suggestions for how to anyone knows from religious practices about best thing to do when you're approaching a statue. Mathan's not got particularly high religion. I'm saying it's religious studies, maybe. She's got plus 23, but if we could just all pool knowledge, basically, and he will want to take the advice from everyone. I don't know if we need to roll this, but he will, whether it's taking his hat off. I don't know if he's got a hat. No, he's got a hat. But, taking his, I don't know, walking solemnly, and he'll just be trying to be respectful. He's got respectful thoughts in his head. If anyone else had any suggestions based on their religious knowledge, he would take them. But yeah, he would want to approach carefully. He's wanted to check for traps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two things. One, so Neathanel should go first and check for traps,
Okay.
up to the second step and then come back. That would make sense, right? So make sure it's not booby trapped. Then
Cool.
Neathanel can go. The second thing is, Chris, I don't quite know how you want to play this because it seems silly for us all to do it. But when we were with the Nuretti and we got the vision, they did something with their god. I recall you talking through, and then we prayed to them as well. I can't remember, and it would make sense for us to do a memory check to try and remember, but I don't want to do 8 of them. Is there some way we can check our memories to see if we can remember what the Nuretti did at that time? Because I can't remember what they did. Other people can.
I mean,
you could just tell us.
Yeah, it was part of the story. It was something that was narrated. So I'm not going to ask for a specific memory roll. You went in to see someone called Old Man Tilia, and one of his ancestors had been at the final battle outside Tarak Nev.
Yep.
And I'm also describing a little bit for our audience too, Giles. So just letting them know. And that person was witnessed. They were blinded, but they were witnessed to some demonic voice and a woman's voice. And the reason you saw that was you were part of a ritual with Old Man Tilia. Part of going to Old Man Tilia's house in the decaying, crumbling, rotting jungle city of Landana was praying to Orgiana. So Orgiana, a symbol that looked, a goddess that looked like. Here we go. Like this, you may recall this woman here. There was a statue that looked like that woman there, with flame around her in Old Man Tilia's house. All of the Nuretti prayed to her constantly, actually, regularly to her. And some of you, and I forget when, although it's back on the recordings, if anybody does want to have a look and a listen, some of you prayed to Orgiana, some of you didn't, and said things to her.
Should we do this? So, oh my God, use your words, Giles. So Neathana will go up to, what do you reckon, about the top of the first set of stairs, creeping along, doing her checking for traps thing. And so long as it all looks trap-free, then I guess she will wait and let Leif go up to temple and do whatever we saw the Nureti do when they were praying to Orgiana.
Okay.
We'll follow in their footsteps.
Okay.
Defeat unreasonable, Pete? You happy with that team?
Happy to do that. He won't be pretending to pray to her as a divine, a devoted follower, because he's not and he doesn't want to lie, but he'll be wanting to do that with the knowledge in his head and saying it out loud that he's wanting to show proper respect, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, sounds good.
Okay, just before we do that, so here is Neathanel coming up to have an initial look. I have just simply randomly placed the other 6 members of the party. I've put them back there. I'm not going to go through each character, but if anybody is dissatisfied with where their character is, or if your character is doing something in particular that I need to know about, now is your time to tell me. Going once.
You put Tarquin at the back, and can you give him a couple of Imodiums so he doesn't crap himself?
Okay, done. I can't help with the Imodium, I'm afraid.
Mithana will have her sword out. She's okay where she is. Leif will not have his sword out.
Cool. Any other preparations from these 4 characters here?
Gray would like to have his axe at the ready, and Demos always likes to have Jamie Lynn with him, and Etienne would just be having a private word with his goddess.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Just asking her some guidance.
Sure. If you find an appropriate skill or something, let me know and we can make a roll. But okay, and nothing from Keros. Tell me if not, yes, no.
She's fine there, and she'll be ready to cast if needed.
Great, perfect. So Neathanel, can you were checking for traps? Can you give me a roll, please? Master, of course.
It's 48.
48. Okay, cool. And what's her trap skill?
Is it detect disarm traps?
That's it.
53.
Thank you. So, how far is she going? Please.
Up to the top of the first set of steps only.
Okay.
Back. Not sideways, back. Yep. Nice.
Cool. So
Yep.
Neathanel has inspected these stairs. She thinks they're fine.
Okay. Can Neathanel then do a perception up the second set of stairs? I appreciate that. I don't think you can use the skill from afar.
You've kind of got to be up. Well, it depends.
Okay, so I think Neathanel would wait for Leif to come up and would ask Leif because Neathanel did not pray to Orgiana, so he doesn't want to get too close. Do you want to go her to go further, Pete, or are you happy with?
Happy for Leif to go up.
In which case, Neathanel will stay there and sort of, I don't think she'd have weapons drawn, but she'd be ready to have weapons drawn if needed.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Yeah, I'm done.
Cool. Leif will be happy to continue. He will want to sort of divide his thinking into 2 parts. First, he's doing the check of the bit he's about to walk to. The first bit is walking to the foot of the next steps. Next bit is walking to the top of the steps. First bit is he checks for traps, and then he changes his sort of thoughts to being a bit more present and trying to be open to her as he walks forward, basically.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Cool. Give me a detect traps roll, please.
I'm going to get into the right channel. Oh, I hope it's masked.
It is masked. It is masked. It absolutely is masked. What's his skill, please? If he doesn't have the actual skill, it'll be half.
Half. Cool. So his skill is 57. I'll just halve that. 29.
Okay. He's discreetly checking down. He thinks he's pretty clear to get up to here. No problem.
Cool. Thank you. It'll take a moment to do a really good perception of what he's looking at there, please.
Sure. And just to check, as Leif is doing that, anything from either Neathanel, waiting at the top of the stairs, or the other party members back here?
Nope.
No? Okay. Sure. Give me another perception roll, please, Pete.
45.
Fine. Cool. And what's his bonus?
57.
All right. So he takes in the scene, and we'll zoom in a little bit. Probably one thing that's not perfectly accurate here. That step up is just a smidge too large. It should be. Oops. No, I'm not going to futz around with the map. But just to note, that is actually a normal step. So just ignore the height of that, please. Use your imagination and just ignore that. Can I shrink it down? I can. Yeah, it's a bit more. It's actually a bit more like that. Much more like that. So it's an easy step up. And resting on it is firstly this altar, and you can see there. You can even see the quite large, fat, looks like wax, kind of yellowy, whitish tallow candles that are raised. Most are just cut. Well, they probably were originally white. Now they're covered in dust and soot and grime and filth and cobwebs and all kinds of things. Leif peers a bit to the side and has a little bit more of a look, being respectful, etc. And yes, indeed, there is this plaque here, a larger plaque. It has got writing on it, and I should have mentioned in the intro to this chamber, each one of these plinths has a plaque with writing on it. This is a larger plaque with writing on it, and realistically, would you have actually seen that? So Leif would have been the first person to have noticed that. And then, yes, indeed, there is the statue, and it's a big statue. It would be, oh, let's put, what is that? 3 times the size of a human,
At least.
at least, if not a bit more. And it looks, again, just the image looks like that.
Oh.
Is it actually flaming, Chris, or is it like metal?
It's metal. It's red metal. It's been very, very cleverly wrought. But your view, Leif, I was about to say Nicholas. Your view, Nicholas, is it's all metal. Majority of it is black.
Mhm.
Her skin is black, but there is red, what looks like red metal, very, very cunningly, skillfully created to look like flame. But it is your guesstimate is it's not real flame. It's certainly not giving off any heat. It's not moving. It looks like metal.
Cool. Thank you. He would like to walk around. Not up onto the step just yet, but would like to walk around a little bit more just to see other views, get other angles on things.
Yep.
So he can see the plaque from there. Any chance that he can see the writing or what language? I assume he won't be able to read the language, but
give me a perception roll.
that's a 6.
Okay. And
57.
cool. Right. Okay. Does Leif have a use items roll? A staffs and wands or a attunement?
Attunement.
Yeah.
He does. He's got a skill. Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Could you give me a roll, please?
$35.
And what's his bonus?
58.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. So he can't see what's on the plaque.
Can't, not from this angle. Just a bit
Awesome.
too gloomy and dark. This forest of metal columns, iron around her. It's quite dark. Yes, there is a gap in between. This building is gloomy. There is light coming in, but it is dark in here.
Where do we see? Oh, there are sources of like the old sconces, or there are old candlesticks and stuff, aren't there?
Sure, yeah, you can see them there.
Okay, so it's not like not like she objects to light. Okay, so he would suggest that and I don't know why we didn't do this before. We didn't have a source of light, did we?
So when I say it's dark in here, it's semi-daylight outside. You'll recall my description of the sun kind of erratically moving across the sky, and suddenly it'll be back where it was, and then it will flip and change. And also there's just this layer of ash and smoke and grime and filth, and it's just perpetually overcast and grey. But there is sunlight. There is weak sunlight filtering through the gloom. You recall the previous day you saw the sunlight coming down and hitting this golden dome on the top of this building. There are holes, relatively small holes in this building, and actually, realistically, there would be what would you call them? Light shafts, I guess, to allow some degree of natural light to filter in here. So as well as some of the decay in the building, there would also be, is that what you'd call them, like shafts of I suppose like a sunroof almost, or like
all those little windows under the dome sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So there is some natural light coming in. So it's not dark in here. I used that word incorrectly. It's gloomy. You can see. It's not, you can certainly see around you, and without needing light, but it's gloomy and dim.
Just note to self and Mythan, basically, when she investigates the other end of the room again in an hour, she wants to use light source in case that helps.
Okay, sure.
With her role. So Leif will come back down the steps and just report. I mean, he doesn't feel like shouting. We'll just discuss with everyone what he's found, and he'll just say seems safe enough. Next step is for me to go up there and have a wee look at that plaque. If everyone thinks that's an all right procedure, perhaps best for him to do that himself before everyone else comes up, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sounds good. Sounds safe.
Akron would let the party know he's got a read rune skill, although it's worth a grand total of 1 with his minus 25, and speaks 10 different languages if that helps. But it's probably in Nariti that no one speaks, right?
Yeah. Actually, well, as there are plaques on the other statues, while he does that, everyone else could have or people who have got read runes or other languages could have a look at them just to see if we can decipher them. But yeah, so Leif would be okay to go back up to the at the top to the statue, and I mean, people who come and put candles there, they can't go and put their candle there on the altar without stepping on that last step, can they?
Correct.
No, so he feels that's it's not, he will be respectful. He will step up onto that step and just be at that altar for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Give himself a moment, and he'll just do another perception for traps or anything, or anything odd. And if this roll is for that altar, and then as he feels comfortable, just around the side of the altar, and then not quite racing up to the statue, but seeing if he can read the he's wanting to try and read that plaque from as far off as possible, being respectful.
Okay.
So,
give me a roll, please.
Yep. So, looking for traps or anything odd, because wanting to find a secret compartment with a sword in it. That was sorry, I didn't even tell you the roll. 47.
Thank you. Roll again, please.
Oh dear. Oh yes. And 40.
And what's the skill?
57.
You can't detect anything.
Cool. So yeah, he would have been at the front, and then he would have moved sort of to the up to the side of the altar, and moving up sort of close to the altar to try and just see what he can make of that plaque. And if he can't read anything from there, he's assuming that he's still safe, and he will just move as close as he needs to have a wee look at it, see if he can read it.
Okay. Moves up to it. Pauses at the plaque. Looks down this towering statue. As described. How big is that? Many times the size of a person. Looms over Leif.
Yep.
He looks down at the plaque, and indeed, it's in a language he can't decipher.
Thank you. He will very respectfully back off and just, and go back to everyone else and say, well, he's been up, and describe what he's done and say, well, he's been up there and nothing awful happened. If someone with a high perception wants to go and investigate, perhaps they could.
Sorry, Pete. You spelled incorrectly.
Oh, no!
As you take a step back, this terrible, terrible woman's voice booms out and just echoes around the chamber. You've got none of you got any idea what the person says. The voice is deep. It's a woman's voice, but it's incredibly deep, incredibly menacing, incredibly threatening voice. The words that it says are not kind. And then Leif, potentially, the last thing you see and hear is a massive gout of flame erupts from the center of the statue. A huge fireball. It spreads out 30 foot, out all the way around here, all the way around the back, and Leif, you are firmly engulfed in a point-blank fireball.
Yikes. Ooh. Maybe it wasn't a good idea.
And I'm now going to roll the attack on you. Exclamation mark R space D 100. You want a low roll.
Oh.
Here we go.
Okay. Could be worse.
Could be a lot worse. A lot worse. Alright, just coming. This will take a second or so, and it's a fireball, and it is a bonus to fireball. Sorry, Leif. Really sorry, Leif.
Well, I'm just pleased that he's the only one there, actually, that we made at least a good choice in keeping everyone else back.
Indeed. So... the attack roll was a 40, which is not. It could have been a lot worse. There is a plus 10 on that, I believe, because you're at the center of it. No, I think it's plus 20. It's plus 20,
plus
isn't
20.
it?
It is.
Plus
Yes.
20. Okay.
Don't get my shield. Yeah.
You don't get your shield.
No.
So
modifications to EAR due to caster's agility. Caster's agility and target's shield do not apply. But caster's skill and target's shield do not apply. All other modifications do apply. So he does get his agility.
He does get his 29 dB. He does not get a shield because it's all around him. I'm not quite sure how that works. Leif.
No, hang on. Sorry. Modifications to the EAR due to caster's agility. Yeah. Caster's skill and target's shield. Yeah, gotcha. Sorry.
Do you get your DB?
He does get his DB.
He doesn't get a shield. Okay.
Doesn't get a shield.
That is unfortunately with the 60 to the roll plus the bonus.
39 DB.
39 dB? Not. I had it 29. Okay.
No, because he's got. Oh no, sorry, no, you're absolutely right. Sorry, it's 29. I'm adding extra. Okay. No, you're right.
So it started off being not too bad. Leif.
Yeah.
It is a 29 in a D.
Oof.
Because this is an area effect, I'm going to ask you to roll it on. Well, and I'll give you the option. Do you want to roll it on yourself, or do you want me to roll it on you?
I'll roll it on myself, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
When you roll.
Oh my. Oh, 44. Could have been worse again.
Leif is on 0 lives.
Yeah, he is.
He is. 44. Blast stuns foe for 1 round, plus 9 hits. You take 2 hits per round due to pain and suffering. This, all of your companions watch in horror as this colossal ball of flame rockets out from here and goes out 35 foot all the way, you don't know quite the distance, all the way around here and absolutely engulf poor Leif. And for a number of you, you think that's it. Leif is dead. But somehow, miraculously, there Leif is after the smoke and the flame clear, and he is there. You're in pain, Leif. You're at 2 hits around. You're smoldering. There is smoke coming off your crispy flesh, etc., etc. That really, really hurt. Leif is stunned 1 round. So Leif, you are stunned this round. What do others do, please? We will go into. Actually, we will go into. No, we won't go into rounds. I'll ask for just a declaration of action. We'll start with Nathanel, then we'll work our way back. Nathanel, what are you doing, please? If anything.
Just can you come back to me, Chris? Sorry, I just wanted to quick look at Nathanel's spell.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll come back to Mithan. We'll start at the back with near the back, Demos and Grey. What are your 2 characters doing? You've just witnessed this.
Demos. Oh. What has he got? Sorry, I'm just looking at his thing to see if he's got any kind of first aid knowledge at all. I think he does have a little bit of first aid. Nope, he's just got cookery.
You never know when.
Does he count as first aid for burns?
He's gonna rush forward, but he's not gonna go up the steps. He's just gonna go far. He's just gonna make his way forward in hope that other people follow him to try and get Leif out.
Okay.
And Grey is just going to. He's not going to stop Keros from going because he knows she's going to want to go help Leif, but he's just gonna stay right on Keros. So if Keros rushes forwards, he's going to rush forward.
Done.
He's going to be just checking what she's doing.
Now, Keros, of course, can't rush because she was horribly mangled by a cloud of acid, so she moves the slowest out of any of you. She limps along. She's got 1 hand, and she's also snaggled.
He's happy to pull her along and go quickly if that's what she wants.
But you think she's beautiful. What does Keros do, please?
Poor Keros.
Poor
And
Keros.
anyone would think she was impulsive and rushed into things. Gosh.
What does she do?
Oh, she's got lots of things she wants to do. None of them good. From a party perspective. If you're floating someone, they need to consent if you want to move someone.
Yes.
Can Leif consent in his current state?
You would have to ask him that, remember? So you would have to.
I was asking the GM, but yep, I can ask Leif. So, 3 words.
Yep.
Leif want fly?
You're stunned, Leif, but I'll give you the right response.
He'll say, yes, please.
Keros?
Can I please fly my bro out of the danger zone?
Okay. Sure
Very
thing.
good.
You're going to cast fly.
Yeah.
What is the range for fly, please?
Yes, that's the bother, isn't it? Where is the spell?
Life is 63 feet away from you.
Fly. Our range is what we're looking for. Fly 1 is 10. Oh. Fly 2 is 100.
Cool. But I just been
That's
said just a quick aside. Neathnal, by the way, 35 foot of flame came out here. You are now very dry and just slightly crispy, Neathnal. You were out of the flames' reach. You didn't take any damage, but you got smoke and winds coming. You saw this ball, this doom coming straight for you, and then it just petered out. Quite terrifying. So what does Keros do, please?
She's going to fly Leif home to the team.
Give me a roll, please. Fails on a 1 or a 2.
Okay. Okay. So my zero's not working. There we go. 37.
37. The spell goes off. Keros unusually doesn't need to prepare, so the spell goes off. We'll come back to Leif and now he's stunned, so he's got a limited amount of action, but he can act a little, and we'll come back to him as the last actor. What does Mithan do, if anything?
Yeah. She'll do the same as Grey. Like, I want to help, but I don't want to go within 30 foot of that fireball. So she will move up too, and be ready, basically.
Okay.
She'll call out, can you make it to us?
Cool.
Or something.
Great. And then
That's all that counts.
collective decision of what Etienne would do, if anything. He doesn't have to do anything. Thoughts of what?
He'd move up too, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Definitely.
he would move up and be praying frantically.
Okay. And then lastly, Giles, the two characters that you were running.
Okay, so
and...
Neathana would come down the stairs to the others and would situate, I think, herself behind them. Yep. So if this happens again, well, only a little bit. Yep, that's right. Not just Tarquin really wants to find some Imodium. He'll be hanging out more where Karios and Demos. I mean, he's not really in much fit state to do anything really.
Okay.
He'll have his dagger out. But yeah.
Cool. And then last but not least, Leif, you as a stunned person this round, for this number of rounds, the target may not attack. They may only parry with half their offensive bonus. Normal DB to quickness, etc. is not affected. The only other actions allowed are movement and maneuver, both modified by -50. So you could move a short distance. So how far can he fly, please, Keros? How far in the rounds can Leif fly, please, Keros?
Oh, sorry.
And realize you've got a sticky keyboard.
Yeah, sorry, and the buttons are around the other way for like the enter key. Like
Right.
On
Right.
Anyway, so is that the duration? 1 minute a level?
No. The distance. How far can he fly in a round?
Oh, 150 per round.
150. Okay. So 75 would be. You'd be well clear, Leif.
Yep. I'd love to do that, please. I mean, of course, he'll head straight for Keros, please.
So, Leif, you fly out. There's smoke coming off you. You're still smoldering. You're in pain. I'm going to knock off another 2 hits from you. What happens? That's the end of that immediate turn, and I'll be keeping rough tracker of rounds. What the characters do, please. We'll start with the order that we can see on screen in the next 5 minutes or so. We'll start with firstly Grey, then Keros, then Tarquin, Demos, Mithan, Etienne, and Neathnal. Grey action.
Yes.
Yep. So
I wouldn't normally do this, Chris, but just because Karius wasn't here and I played Karius last session, can I just mention something to Alex?
sure.
So this is exactly the sort of situation the spell might be useful, because the spell, sure, it's a level 10 spell, so uses lots of power points, will let us know exactly what we need to do to try and help Leif, and then as a group we can figure out if we can do that. So this is exactly the purpose of the spell we cast last time. Just so you know, and I wouldn't have mentioned it other than I was playing your character last time.
Cool.
Thank you. I am reviewing it now. Thank
Cool.
you.
Cool. Anything for Grey? Actually, we'll go Grey and Demos at the same time. Anything for you immediately? Next.
Demos is just watching on horror while trying not to step on anything crappy. And Grey is just ready to launch to tackle Keros out of the way of any kind of oncoming flame.
Excellent. Keros, Mike's yours.
Doesn't know whether to give him a quick kiss or a quick punch, because she is an independent woman who can make her own decisions, but appreciating the commitment to her well-being.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we know what's wrong? We know what happened. Like, he's on fire.
Well, you can see Leif smouldering, and he's looking like he's in pain. But more than that, you probably don't know.
I don't know that it's from flames.
Well, you've just seen him get burnt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do I need to analyze, or do I know that he's...
I think, as a general rule of thumb, if someone is bleeding in this game, it's pretty obvious that they're bleeding, and you would staunch your wound. I think for something else, you'd probably need a diagnostics. So you know that he's burning at 2 hits around, but maybe your character doesn't. Maybe he's got a broken leg. Maybe the impact did something else to him, so your character doesn't know. So yes, some kind of diagnostics.
All right, well, we'll better do this new fandangled level 10 analyze symptoms.
Okay.
In honor of Giles.
He's loving it.
Going.
It's great.
Right.
Give me a roll, please. Now you are 9th level. This is a 10th level spell. If you remember,
9th, 10th.
Are you?
I'm probably actually 11th, but I don't ever put in my XP. To be fair.
Maybe you should. No, you are 10th. Maybe you are 10th. You are 10th. Cool. So you're not
Probably
over
15.
Yeah. Hey.
So you're 10th. It only fails on a 1 or a 2. Give me a dice roll, please.
Okay. 9. Few.
Few. The spell goes off. I'm even going to find the healing spell. Here we go. What is the spell, please? What happens?
Well, what happens is Keros does her little cool hand thing, well, her one-armed thing, and gives the lopsided grin, and out of her fingers comes teeny tiny little question marks that are on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And she's obviously, does she need to touch him? She's touching, nice touching, good touching, and saying nice words, and making a fuss for any extra. Do we need any extra points? We don't. Analyze symptoms. Allows caster to diagnose precisely what is wrong with hurt or diseased patient. For this spell to be effective, caster must first have cast a store upon the exact racial type and gender. Oh yes, who wasn't it? So we've done, the Giles did that.
Correct.
So we are going to have the precise diagnosis.
Cool.
Hopefully prognosis.
Correct. So it was what was the crit? 40? What was it?
44D heat.
Thank
I can
you.
read it if you want.
Blow stuns foe for 1 round. 9 hits. Foe takes 2 hits per round due to pain and suffering. So your smolder.
So how many rounds?
So your smoldering Leif, you're smoldering. You're on fire basically. No indication of how many rounds. that's the diagnosis is not going to. It's not a severe injury, so it's not. So he's not losing. So if you remember,
So not magic, not anything else. This is just a burn file.
If you remember in Rolemaster definitions, light injuries are wounds that yield 1 to 5 hits per round. Medium injuries are 6 to 10 hits per round, and severe injuries are more than 10 hits a round. So this is a light injury. He's got, painful burns, but they're not horrendous. They probably will go out by themselves in a relatively short period of time.
Okay, so I don't need to cast, because there's heat and cool as well for someone. Oh, but I can't cast this round anyway. I'm done, aren't I?
We're not in round.
We'll go to,
what does cool do?
We'll go to someone else. So you've acted. What does Tarquin do, please?
He wants to encourage anyone who can help Leif to help Leif.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Speaking of Leif, you are now no longer stunned. What do you do?
He'll ask people to help him put him out.
Okay.
Be smouldering. Can we pat him down so that actually he stops smouldering, perhaps? And he'll be very grateful for the assistance, especially to he'll acknowledge it all around, but be especially grateful to Keros. Thank you for getting him out, and then for checking what's the matter.
Cool. Mithan.
Mithan will come up and help pat him down, but she'll also say she's got a minor burn relief spell, if that would be helpful. She'll say it to Leif, and I don't know if Keros has shared her diagnostic information, but she'll be guessing that she might have, so she'll done the spell, so she'll say it sort of out loud.
Yes, sorry, I did. Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Okay. So Mithan will prepare and cast that basically.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
In terms of the patting down, so first aid will. For burns, first aid can be used to treat 1 to 5 hit points per a loss from a light and medium burn wounds by applying cold water, ice, and a bandage. It's an easy maneuver, and it can also reduce 1 to 5 burn hits per round, reduces light wound penalties. So you can pat him down with other things, but it's not good. You'll need something cool to kind of cool that off.
Well, he was thinking of just putting the smouldering out.
Sure, he's still in pain from the injury.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Mithan, you're going to cast. Give me a roll, please.
Yep, 76.
76. The spell definitely goes off.
It's a second level spell, and the description is will heal.
Was that prep?
Oh, sorry,
with prep.
With two rounds prep.
Okay, so another 4 rounds for Leif.
Yeah.
So another 4 hits for Leif. Okay, cool.
Yep. Description is will heal 1 area of mild frostbite or 1 first-degree burn.
This is a first-degree burn. I'm going to say with that, it's not a serious burn. With that, Leif, your burning stops, and the pain slowly fades.
Cool, thank you. So he'll be down to.
I've got him down to probably a bit generous. Actually, I'm going to give him on. He's on 110.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, he's got 150 hits as a maximum.
Yep. So he took.
Okay, cool. Yep. Oh yeah, sorry, 29 hits on the end. Yeah, gotcha. Sorry, gotcha. 110. Yeah, he will say to Mithan, feeling a bit under the weather. Can you help me out with that, please? And she'd, if I can, just jump in. She'd do the.
Sure.
She'd prepare for 4 rounds and do her healing spell.
Sure. Give me a roll.
Rolled with 37.
Yep, the spell goes off.
Cool.
And
D3. 3D10. 21 hits healed.
21. So, sorry, did you say 21?
21, yeah.
So he's on 131. That's what we got.
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
Yep. 131.
Happy to. Oh yeah. Happy to. Just thinking. Just you want to do it? He'll ask. No, he'll hold off. I
Okay.
think we'll.
Okay.
No. Actually, 131. He'll ask for another spell because he's not going to regain that after 8 hours sleep.
Okay.
So, yeah. He'll ask for another spell. The 100 with the 4 rounds of prep.
Mm-hmm.
Rolled a 50.
50 success.
Sorry to take the time.
That's all right.
3d10. Healed another 18. I think
So
that should put
18.
him close to
149. He's just off. He's 1 off.
that's perfect. Perfectly fine. Cool. Thank you very much. So yeah, Leif would be grateful all round and say, don't go up there. From what he can gather, I mean, just don't go onto the black step.
You're bad.
Not nice.
Bad.
Yeah. No wonder it's yeah.
Other actions. What do you? So I'm not going to go around characters. Just tell me what happens now. So Leif has come back. He still smells a bit of burnt, but he's looking and sounding a lot better. What happens?
So I think Tarquin would say to the team, I'm presuming we're all within earshot.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
Yeah, for sure.
all,
Yeah.
Look, so somehow I still think we need to investigate this a little bit further. If the sword is hidden here, then it's going to be hidden with some sort of protection. Tarquin has a spell which is interesting called Confusion. He's only ever used this once before, but it says target, and it doesn't identify anything other than target. It says target is incapable of making decisions or initiating action. So if he can successfully cast target on this statue, then would it, I mean, I'm happy for you to tell me, Chris, but would it prevent it from initiating action? Because that would, some spells say humanoid creatures or any creature, but this just says target.
You can cast a spell and find out.
So I'll put that to the universe, i.e. the people here, and say, is it worth the risk? And if so, can someone cast something that says cannot get burned on me?
I remember Kiros has got a cannot get burned spell, I think.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
I remember that in
wow.
our little Lords of Essence session where we sort of both died. But you had a really that was a I didn't know what I was doing. But there was a really useful spell you had then, actually, from memory.
Oh. Yeah,
You
just
sort of like cast a bubble around us to protect us from heat.
Where
was
is
so
that?
clever.
Oh.
Leif, Mithan's take on it, which is a bit more sort of magic-y inclined, would be that we don't know if it's the statue that initiates the spell for a start. I think it's safe to say that, this is a pretty huge spell that's been around for, thousands of years. It's pretty powerful. For it to resist the confusion would be my guess. I mean, it's worth a go, but my guess would be it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hugely powerful spell, which means your confusion might not affect it. Or would,
okay.
but I think we shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's Mithan's take on it. Worth a go if you want to. And what exploring, and Mithan would also say she could activate. I believe she's got her earbuds to try and hear what the voice says. If you want to activate that voice again, she could activate her earbuds to understand what it says.
So we need to hear from Carrier. So protect from burning. I mean, we know it's not magic fire, right? So it's just fire, right? So if there's a way of protecting us from fire, that's way better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a level 17 spell called Fire Armor, which is amazing, but we're not doing that. So I have I'm not that stupid. I have resist heat sphere, but it says protects against natural heat. Is fire natural heat?
Absolutely. And we know this is not magical because you cast your level 10 spell. And Chris told us this is just a burning.
So I've got resist heat sphere as resist heat except all beings within a 10-foot range of target are protected. And resist heat is as resist light. Or target is totally protected from all natural heat to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus 10 to all RRs versus heat. I don't know what that means. Oh, resistant rolls. Minus 10 to elemental heat / fire attacks.
So this would be the latter. It's a fire attack.
So what does that mean? What is that when it says minus 10?
So the attack would get -10 on the attack.
Oh.
So if you
So
walk,
that's a good spell.
if you walked, my read of that, correct me if I'm wrong, but my read of that is if you walked through flame, so if there was a building on fire and you just simply walk through it, you would be protected, I think. I think that's right. If fire is being used offensively in either a fireball, as this was, or a fire bolt, you would get the attack would get a -10 on that. I think I was only half listening to that, so I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pete, is that your read of it?
I mean, yeah. Oh, Pete, I was going to say, as long as it's in our favour, I'm in agreement. Well,
Yeah, but because whilst it might be normal flames, but it is a magical attack.
Well, can one more time, please, to read out the definition?
No, I don't.
target is totally protected from all against all natural heat to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus 10 to all resistance rolls versus heat. Minus 10 to elemental heat / fire attacks.
So we know this is not heat. We know this is not magical heat, right? So we know this is natural heat, right? It might be magically activated, but it's natural heat because we cast that level 10 spell that shows us it's natural heat. Or have I misunderstood that? I mean, I've only been playing this game for a year and a half. I may have misunderstood this.
What's the
Fire armor, though, is specifically for fireballs and fire bolts.
what's
I
the
reckon you could have a go at a level 17 spell.
what's the spell list, please?
Elemental shields.
Thank you.
There's heat armor, cold armor, light armor sphere. There's a heat more sphere.
This is another great list you have.
Yeah, I only like my ice bolts. Sorry.
Oh, I love all your spells, man. Your spells rock. But, I want to know, can you put yourself into an armor shield and then ice bolt the like bad fiery baddies who are getting us, right? Because you could just become like a beast.
Do you know there's a level 50 spell here called True Armor? Acts as lightning armor, fire armor, and ice armor all at the same time.
You become an impossible to hit beast. I'm loving it. We just need to get you up to level 50. Easy.
I just need to add my XP in, I think.
Yeah, well, that's right. You know, and play for another 35 to 50 years, and we're there.
I think the fact that there's a specific fire armor spell for fire and heat spells, i.e. fire bolts and fireballs, tells me that yeah, we might be reaching a bit.
I think so. And this is a second.
What is
this is a second level.
Yeah.
That you were looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah. Even a fifth level, the fifth level heat sphere, as resist heat. I think it's natural heat, 200 degrees Fahrenheit plus. Yeah, but it's got a -10. -10 to the attacks. Yeah, I tend to agree. So my read of that is that is a that is if you walk through natural uh, non-game offensive spells environment, walk through a lava field or walk through something that was up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, you would be protected. If you had to make heat resistance rolls, you'd get a plus 10 to it, and you'd also get negative 10 protection to any lightning, fire bolts, lightning bolts, etc. But it wouldn't protect you from a firebolt. Does that make sense? A higher level spell, such as the heat armor, would, I think, heat armor as light armor protects against all natural and electricity plus.
But Leif was totally fine until they climbed onto the plinth, right?
Yeah. So if you're wanting the GM's ruling on that, at a lower level spell like that, I don't think it's potent enough to protect you from magical fire, the magical fire. This would come to it would give you a negative. It would protect you by negative 10 to the attack, but it would still affect you.
Okay.
What if you're
So
invisible?
Sorry, are you saying what if you're invisible?
Yeah.
You're still, I guess you're still there though, aren't you? Oh, do you mean if it would detect you? You meaning if the statue would detect?
Whoa. Like, is it like a
Yeah.
sensor? Like,
Yeah. I bet it's a sense. I think it's. I mean, it's this old. This is Mathan's opinion. My opinion. It's this old, and still works. This is a really hugely powerful spell, or it's the god themselves, and they're not. I don't think they're going to be fooled by a invisibility spell. I think they can. They've got vision across all spectra, sort of thing. They'll see your heat. They'll see your whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I reckon.
I think you're right.
I reckon. Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Okay, so Tarquin would suggest he could go up and have a look, because his perception, even at minus 25, is 80, and see if he can see the plaque and read it, see if he can see any. I mean, we've got to find the sword, right? So is there any locks, keys, buttons? He wouldn't want to step onto the plinth. I think we need to look as hard as we can, and if we can't find a way of protecting ourselves and to get onto the plinth, then we're a bit stuffed.
Yeah.
Is that
There's
what
still that?
Tarquin
Still
does?
Well, I'm just waiting to see what other people think.
Okay, sure.
Yep, I think we're safe if we keep off the black step, because Leif went up, not onto the black step, but went up to the top before it and came back down and was fine. So I think we can say that that's safe. All his good thinking didn't help him, eh? All his pious thoughts.
So it's so wrong. It's the GM is just he's clearly an atheist. Aiden, Alex, do you guys have thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm not sure any prayer is going to get us up there, unless, well, I don't know. Maybe we could ask Aphrodite if she's got any advice. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know if Gray or Demos have any abilities that would help us get there, apart from smelling something or poking something.
I don't know. Does Brittany sing straight to the heart and you're to blame? You throw that spear into the middle of the heart.
Maybe. Yeah.
I might be reaching slightly here, but
these are all good thoughts, though.
I reckon if Tarquin's happy to go up and have a look himself, I reckon that would be cool.
okay, I think that makes sense, Chris. I'll go do that. I'm staying away from. He will have talked to Leif clearly about where was safe for Leif to go, and he'll go up and have a look in the safe spaces. He'll walk up. He'll perceive in case there are traps.
Sure.
And then he'll look, and he particularly wants to try and read the plaque, or remember it if he can't read the language.
Okay. So
and look for keys, holes, links, or a big sword.
Great. So 2 rolls, please. A big sword, nice. First roll is a detect traps roll, please. So half his perception.
Okay, 96. Can that one be unmasked, please, Chris?
Sorry.
Okay, plus 40.
40, cool. And okay, and so he doesn't in walking around here, investigations around here, he doesn't detect any obvious trap. And then a perception roll, please.
81.
One, great. Now, his perception's good. Now, of course, all of these are negative 25.
Yeah, I'm just taking 25 off everything, much as it upsets me.
Yep.
Is 80.
Plus 80. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, he has a very good look around. He's a little bit more information than Leif. Tarquin's eyesight maybe is better, or maybe just got lucky with the lighting or whatever. You can just see that the plaque, some 8 foot away from him, yeah, the script is familiar. So it's the same script that you've seen on that carving at the beginning of the walkway into Taraknev. It's also the same script that's on all the other plaques in this building.
That's Nereti, but he can't read the letters or do it now. Okay, fine. He'll go back to the party and tell them that.
Before he does,
no one reads Nereti, do they?
Before he does, can you please tell me what his intuition is and give me a roll?
I don't think he has a specific intuition skill.
It's not a skill.
What would be similar?
It's a stat.
Sorry. So his intuition is plus 23.
Cool. And give me a roll, please.
65.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And he heads back to the party.
And he'll tell them. It's written in Nereti, none of us can read it. I'm not sure what else we can do at this juncture. Maybe it's time to go into the rooms with the doors and see if there's additional clues, support, evidence, fire. You know, we can find a big red bottle with a tube, that might be helpful.
Yep. I mean, I think we're waiting an hour basically for Mathan, so she can.
Has an hour passed, Chris?
Not yet. No, it'll be. I don't say after Leif investigation healing. Call it 20 minutes. 20 minutes has passed.
Well, let's go check out a door.
Yeah. Yep.
Which one?
Well, we'll ask Etienne. Isn't that what we normally do?
Yes.
So I guess, Chris, you have to roll, or someone needs to roll a 1d4, and that's the door we'll check out. Because there are 4 of them, aren't there?
There are. Well, actually 6 if you include these doors.
We don't have the map up.
Which doors, Chris?
Oh, you don't have. Sorry. Whoops. These doors. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 doors in the corner of each corner of the building, but there's also the double doors over here.
Oh, I know. Let's go for a corner. So we're going to check out the one in the northwest corner. If everyone else is happy, I just rolled it.
Yep.
Which I don't know what your northwest is, so you tell me.
Oh, so north is behind the statue.
Okay. So north is up here. So you're going for this door?
Yeah. Are people happy with that?
Yes.
Aiden?
Yep.
Yep.
Alex? Cool.
Yep.
And look, as we go round, we may as well perceive, touch, check as we go.
Sure. Yep.
So we'll, see if there's anything else we've missed. But
Sure thing. Done. You don't notice anything. You get up to this door. So each, the door in all of these, just plain simple wooden doors. Relatively flimsy construction, you would say. Relatively, reasonably good condition. Not great, but not kind of totally wrong. I don't know. You don't know because no one's done.
Let's go check them. Who wants to go check one?
Life check.
I want the ethanol too. She can't dive. I don't think she will.
Demos is happy to check them.
Well, actually, Nathanel would normally be the one to check, wouldn't she? Because she's got the detect traps.
Oh, that's true, actually. Okay,
Well,
so
fair to
you'd
say,
go
I think-
up, detect traps, and then open the door. You're right, Pete.
I think the rest of us keep back.
Okay, so what does keep back look like? I'm going to start with.
Like 31 feet.
Okay, okay. So starting with Demos. Where is Demos standing? Nathan's there.
Demos is standing maybe kind of where he is. That's the door there, isn't it? So he's standing where he is probably, but with his shield up.
He can't. He hasn't.
So he's got a one arm.
So he puts his. He can if he puts his spear down.
Oh. No, he'll stay where he is, but he'll be ready to leap behind that statue if he needs to.
Okay. So moving round, that is currently Tarquin there. Where does Tarquin stand, please?
Yeah, he's going to be hiding behind something like a chicken.
Where?
Yeah, so put him back behind a statue, at least 30 feet away. Yeah.
Something like that.
He'll be yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Next is Etienne. Where group decision? Where would Etienne stand?
Well, he's pretty brave.
Etienne's a brave man. He'd stand up. He'd stand up by the door.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Not right next to the door, but like he'd be close. He'd be close, just in case. Nathan needs
close doesn't help me. You need
a big target on his front, wouldn't he? That's right. Yeah.
So
where the little dot where you had him was probably all right actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Just stand there.
He'd be off to one side, so if something came directly out, I'd miss him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good plan.
Kind of is there. Yep. Leif and Mython.
They'll go behind the other statue.
Which
so not Demos's statue. Yeah. No, other one to the right. Yeah, that one.
Okay, and lastly, Keros and Leif, please, and Gray, please.
Keros wants none of this business. So she doesn't. Where's Leif? Sorry.
Here.
Why is he so close? She kind of wants. Can she just stay there? But no, slightly to the right. Sorry, could you mind moving her slightly to the right of the screen? Yeah. Yes.
I'm guessing that Gray might be standing right next to her.
Well, he's getting the sense that maybe Keros is wanting a bit of independence. He's just something he's picking up on. So he's going to stay slightly in front, kind of where that black box is, just so that he's like a little bit protected in case the fire bursts through.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a bit closer. Maybe a bit closer.
All right.
And he's got his shield up and his axe out.
Done. Nathanel, you approach the door. What do you do? That's you, Giles.
Sorry, I think Nathan will detect traps.
Yep,
up
sure.
there.
Yeah, give me a roll.
$69.
Mm-hmm.
And detect traps is, sorry, I think it's 53. Let me just check. Yes, it's 53.
Okay. She inspects, she looks around, she peers down, looks up. She can't see anything wrong about this door. It does have a lock on it, by the way. So it does have a keyhole. But she can't see anything untoward.
Okay, she'll try opening the door.
She reaches out, puts her hand on the door, and
Oh no.
no, whoops, wrong one. It's locked.
Okay, so she has a pick locks skill.
Yeah, sure.
And she has lock picks.
Great.
So she'll try and pick the lock.
Sure thing. Give me a roll, please. Just while I'm setting this up, is anybody else doing anything else? If no obligation to tell me, just if anybody is wanting to, now's your moment. Okay, all good. Picking locks. Give me a roll, please.
Roll 66.
66.
Shame it's not a crit, but there you go.
Yep. 66. Very good. And
64
and
is
60.
her skill at pick locks.
Well, very happy to say, there is a satisfying click as the door opens. It's a relatively straightforward lock. The door is now unlocked.
Okay, so Neathanel will tell the party this, and I guess I'm happy for help here, team, but I don't think Neathanel will be the first person to go through the door. I think Neathanel would probably want Etienne or one of the big boys to go through first.
Yeah, I think
Is it-
Etienne
is it-
would probably volunteer and Demos would back him up.
Cool. Okay, in which case Etienne will. Neathanel will. Does the door open inwards or outwards, Chris?
Pass. I'm going to say. Hang on. I'm just going to go off screen and I'll tell you. Hang on a sec. It opens outwards. It opens towards you guys.
Excellent. In which case Neathanel will talk to the other two and line it up so they can be against the door. Neathanel can open the door towards her so she's protected by the door, and Etienne and Demos can go into the room. I presume swords and Brittany at the ready.
Cool.
Yep. Always.
Always. Anything else from anybody else I should be aware of?
I guess Tarquin would creep a bit closer to where Leif is.
Okay. Unfortunately, my stupid door is not allowing me to close it. I don't think. Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, hang on. Oh. Where'd it go? There we go. Excellent. Okay, back to the map. So, Neathanel, you tell me where you've gone, please.
So Neathanel will go to the right of the door and open the door. Yep, and we'll have No. Just as far as needs to be to open the door.
Yeah, she's done
Essentially,
that.
we'll stand.
Yep, where's she going now?
Okay. Well, there is fine. So
Right.
out of harm's way. Yep.
Fantastic. And Etienne and Demos?
Gray will go through the door. Oh, is it Demos? Yep.
Demos, yeah.
Okay. And any other actions from preparation, anything else that Neathanel's doing? We'll quickly go around each character.
I think Neathanel will probably get her bow out, wouldn't she? It's magical, isn't it? Can someone help me?
Doesn't have a bow.
Neathanel?
Mm-mm. You're thinking the other game.
Oh, my apologies.
That's all right.
No, she's got a long bow. Okay, no. So she'd get out whatever weapon she has, particularly if it's magical, her short sword.
Yes.
So she's ready for an attack.
Cool. Gray, any preparations, anything I should be aware of?
He's got his axe out and his spear. He's probably going to move a bit closer as well, just in case those two guys need backup.
Tell me where.
He's going to inch forward. Yeah, a little bit further closer. Yep. Perfect.
Mithan?
Mithan and Leif, swords and shields out. Yeah.
Excellent. And Keros and Tarquin?
Karos will be ready to cast and will hide if she needs to.
Okay, fully prepped. And Tarquin? Giles? Hello, Giles?
Sorry,
That's all right.
sorry, Chris. Just a minor problem at home.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh, the house is leaking. It's a bit of a disaster, but
Oh, goodness.
so he'll be.
Do you need to
He'll
attend to
be.
them?
No. It's all good. It's all good. He'll prep to cast if he needs to.
Okay, so he's fully prepped. Done. Okay, you're in position. You hit up. Both Demos and Etienne only have one hand each. Who opens the door?
Yeah, that's true.
No. So Chris, so Nathaniel is opening the door so
Oh,
they
I
can
see.
go through.
Ah, I didn't understand. Okay. So she's here and she's yanking it open and pulling it around. Cool.
Correct.
Understood.
That's why I asked for open inwards.
I now understand. Got it. Okay, very good. Excellent. So, Nathaniel, you reach forward. You open the door. And instantly there is a... And this horrible thing leaps out to attack you.
Well, not Nathaniel, who will be behind the door, will leap out and attack Etienne and Demos, presumably.
So it's tall. It would be maybe 8 or 9 foot. You can see it up on screen, I'm hoping. It looks like that. It's kind of this ball of fur and covered in these horrific spikes and spines. And exactly as the door opens, there is a noise. Will be. As well as the... not quite this, but yeah, close enough. No, that's the wrong one. What do I want? Is this better? Not quite this. No, it's definitely not that. Definitely not that. Never mind. Never find it when I need them. No, there's not. And a bunch of these spines fly out and rocket towards you guys, and at the same time it leaps forward and attacks both Demos and
because Demos had his spear up
Sure.
rather than his shield. Will that deter it at all?
We can find out. We can absolutely find out. We are going into rounds. We are putting on the combat music. Get ready, folks. So with a hideous roar. Oops. And it was right by the door. Oh. There we go. So. These things fly out 40 foot, so there is a chance of, not that you guys know this, but actually I'm giving way too much away tonight. In that field there, so I'm going to say unlikely for Kairos, but certainly these three characters. Can both, firstly, Demos, Etienne, and Gray make a roll, please?
Cool. Curious, Alex, do you want to roll for
Etienne.
Etienne?
Sure.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry, I've got stuck keys.
Ray got a 74.
Okay.
Poor old Demis got a 28. Hopefully it's masked
Okay.
somehow.
Okay.
I've rolled 65.
Okay. Can I ask for both Etienne and Demos? Gray is okay. Etienne and Demos roll 1d8, please.
5.
5 and
7.
7. First of all, there are 5 dart attacks on Demos, and then 7 on Etienne.
Oh, God.
This is going to take a little bit. So first on Demos. Demos, you don't have a shield. Your shield is gone, so you're just relying on your natural defense. And you are struck for 7 in a C, but it is 7 in a C tiny. Rolling the crit. Okay. It hits you in the shoulder. You're bleeding at 2 hits per round, plus 5 hits.
Is good shoulder or is dead shoulder?
Just says shoulder. Foe is, you're bleeding at 2 hits a round, plus 5 hits. You are stunned next round. I'm going to say this round at -20. So you are stunned this round. That's the first attack. Second attack is, again, no shield. It rolled the same result. And this time, the crit, it's a nastier crit. Slashes you down your forearm. Slashes muscles and tendons. You fight at -25. You're taking 2 hits a round, and you're stunned for 2 rounds, plus 5 hits. It's the second attack. The third attack. Poor result. It hits your breastplate, and one of these these horrible barbs you can see here, these spikes, looks like this. They kind of flick out, and at the end of those round points, they're razor sharp tips. This one smashes into your leather breastplate, and very fortunately, your armor turns it aside, unaffected by that stroke. Next one. It's... don't have the shield. Again, you're really, really, really missing the shield. You take 7 in a C tiny again. Rolling the critical. And that's the 96. Demos.
Ooh,
There's a blinding pain down your in your lower leg, somewhere on your lower leg or your foot. You collapse in pain. You're stunned and unable to parry. You're taking 1 hit per round, and you are operating at -75.
Ooh. All right.
And then the last, I think that was number 4. This is the last one.
Oh, God. How many?
Again, 7 in a C. A forearm strike. You're forced to parry 2 rounds. You take 3 hits. and you're taking another 2 hits per round. So this spray of these vicious darts just come out, these spines, Demos, and just pepper you. One is turned aside by your armor. Fortunately, if you weren't wearing armor, don't know. But the others have hit home. You're on the ground. You've got intense pain in the back of your foot, around your foot area. You're at negative 120. You are stunned 3 rounds, and you're on the ground, and you're bleeding at 7 hits per round. That really, really hurt.
Ooh.
Ouch. Same time on Etienne. Now, Etienne is better armored. Etienne, you're wearing metal armor. First attack on Etienne is... Etienne does have his shield. He does get his DB. And he is wearing metal armor. And there's a slight graze. 2 hits on Etienne. That's the first one on Etienne. The second one on Etienne.
Who's keeping an eye on what's happening to Etienne? Because I'm not.
I am. Exactly the same result. Glancing strike. 2 hits. His metal armor has saved Etienne again. That's the second one of 7. The third one of 7. He's going to get lots of XP for this. Or maybe he's not. Exactly the same result. 2 hits. A graze. That was the third, I think. This is the fourth. Nothing. Completely ineffectual. Bounces off Etienne's helmet. Etienne's metal armor has saved him. Next, that was the fourth. The fifth. 2 more hits. No critical. The sixth on Etienne. No damage. And then finally, the 7th and the last does 1 hit point. This thing leaps forward, so it does that, leaps forward, and it doesn't have to move that far, and then just slashes with its hand at Etienne. Etienne, I'm not going to give surprise because you were potentially waiting for something unpleasant. But this thing is large and vicious, and it slashes at Etienne. Etienne had his shield and his sword ready. We didn't decide whether he would be parrying. Collective decision here, folks. What is would Etienne have parried? I personally think he would have. And how much of his skill would he have parried? How much would he have devoted, do you think? Collective decision.
50?
Yeah, I think Graham usually goes as between 30 and 50%. So I think 50 is a reasonable call in an unknown situation. I think Aiden's right.
Cool. 50. Okay. So he parries with 50. This horrible thing, and it reeks. You can all smell it. Really, really weird as its arm comes out. And you can hear it breathing. It's kind of panting and huffing under its breath. It's making quite a lot of noise. It's really strange. Yeah, you certainly didn't hear it through the door. And as it steps forward to slash at Etienne, the stench, the reek of this thing, the rotting flesh, the vile nature of this thing's body is almost overwhelming. It's just come out of the doorway. It's actually slightly more in the doorway than there. Demos is on the ground. Etienne turns it aside with a sword and with a shield, and this creature does not attack. Does not get through with its attack. That was its action. It got to act first. We are off. Initiative for everybody else. Neathanol, you I'm going to say you have partially. No, call it you acted last round by opening the door. What does Neathnal do? So she hasn't seen. To be fair, she hasn't seen this critter. She's standing there. She's probably seen an arm and something hideous, but she hasn't seen this thing. But she has seen this flurry of darts, of these spines come out of this creature.
And this is only a few feet, right?
It is
feet.
really close, horribly close. In fact, I'll give you the exact distance. I mean, she's hanging on to the door, so she would, she's there.
Yep.
We're talking 3 feet away. It's nothing, but she can't see it.
Okay, but she knows something bad is there, and she's got her magical short sword out. She'd step around the corner, take a single step, would essentially, if you want me to spend 10% of my action perceiving, which I'm happy to do.
No.
So she'd step around and then would essentially attack.
Okay.
With everything, leaving enough of her movement to take a step to hide again behind the door.
Okay. So just one thing: does she have a magical short sword? Help me out here, folks.
I don't know. I can't see it.
Yep.
I've got her spell list and her character sheet here, but it's.
I don't.
She definitely has a magical weapon of some description, and that's what she would have got out because.
I think it's the dagger, but I can't remember.
Graham keeps using it, and she definitely her magical weapon. I thought it was a magical sword, but can someone help me?
Yeah, sorry, I've got the XP tracker and equipment stuff open. I'm just having a look. +10 dagger, +10 short sword.
So the short sword's magical?
It doesn't say it is.
No, the short sword's not. I know the short sword's not magical. It would have been. It would have been from the loot.
Recent.
The loot you guys collected. I'm gonna say. I'm almost certain it's not a short sword. So she has a dagger, Giles.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
All right. So that is the weapon she will have had out. And
Yes.
she will basically do her living best to kill this thing with it. Will attack with everything she has minus whatever she needs to step again behind the door and hide.
Done. So I will ask
It'll
for
be half her short sword, won't it?
she should have a dagger. I thought she had a dagger skill.
I don't think.
And bearing in mind you are kindly playing someone else's character, realize you don't know her that well.
Yeah. Oh, she does. Sim
Okay.
weep. What does that mean?
What? Sorry.
It just says dagger open brackets sim weep WEAP close brackets.
Similar weapon.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. So.
That's fine.
So one thing, a couple of things to just talk. I will decrease because she's stepping. I will give her nothing for that, but because she's stepping back, I'm going to say she can attack with 90% of her action. The other thing too, in this game we play the whole range thing. So for example, Demos has the longest weapon in the party. It's a long-range weapon. There's short-range weapons. Now, she is a very short-range weapon. She's just got a dagger. Now, if she was coming front onto this thing, she would have an issue because she would have to get closer. I'm going to say because she's coming in on the flank and on a flank attack, that she doesn't need to close because basically the creature is out in front. Its weapons and its arms are out here, and she's coming in. You guys can't see me properly, but she's coming in on this side. So I will give you the attack, and I'll give you a flank attack on it. Give me a roll. Make it a good one, please. And this is 90% of her dagger skill.
278.
Wow.
84, Chris.
It's a good roll. It is a good roll.
Yeah.
The ethanol on the critter. 84. And is that with the 10%?
No, so 84 plus. Oh, no, so that's not with the 10%. So with the 10%, it'll be 8.4. It'll be 93. And her dagger skill is 57.
No. Minusing 10% off her dagger skill.
My apologies. Okay, so the roll is 84, and minusing 10% off your dagger skill takes it down to 52.
52.
Can I just double check? It's a +5 dagger, +5 magical dagger.
Oh, thank you. Okay, then it'll be 52 plus 5, so 57.
7.
It's interesting. Wait, actually, it should be 56, Chris. I don't know if it makes a difference.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm rounding up and down.
Sure thing. She... It was a good roll. 84 was a very good roll. Plus 57 for the dagger. Plus she gets a flank. She just manages to graze this thing for 4 hit points. Next is Grey Roughwind. Grey, you're standing extremely close. Demos has collapsed in a pool of blood. He's bleeding heavily. He's lost his spear. Etienne is standing right in front of this thing. What do you do, please?
What is he going to do?
Now, you do have a short weapon, by the way.
Yes, he does. I'm just thinking if there's any useful things he can do. He's going to go and try and... How easy would it be for him to grab Demos and drag him backwards?
Yep.
If he reaches forwards to grab Demos's arm and pull him backwards, and then if he needs to, he's going to drop Demos in a parry with 100%.
Sure. Great description. Cool. So Demos is a big guy. Grey's a big guy, though, aren't correct? They're both quite tall, quite brawny. I would say it's going to be a strength maneuver. So how we're going to do that is we're going to say, give me a sense. Could you tell me, please, firstly, how strong is Grey? What's his bonus? And also, how much does Grey weigh and how much does Demos weigh?
Grey's strength is plus 16.
Okay.
I don't know how much he weighs. Where would it say that?
It'll say under weight at the very top.
Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, weight. LB's is 145.
Yep, cool.
And then Demos is 210 LB. A bit of a heavy boy.
Yeah, okay. So look, Grey is strong, but not colossally strong. Demos is a unit. How tall is Demos? No, it's probably less relevant. Less relevant as height, but he is heavy. So I'm going to say that's going to be a hard maneuver. Less likely with this that there is a chance if you really fuck it up, you could trip and fall. There's a lot of blood on the ground. You could potentially trip. Much more likely, however, if you make a bad roll, that you just move Demos a small distance. But you can go for it. Give me a roll.
Okay, he's going to go for it. Good luck, Demos. 60.
60 plus 16. Is that right?
Plus 16. 60 plus 16, yeah.
Love it. Cool. So this creature doesn't attack. So you said your other option is to parry. So you're holding onto your shield and your axe and you're dragging Demos. It's a good roll. You would get him...
He's aiming to kind of get him back behind that black box that near where he was standing, but just pull him that way. Towards Keros, ideally.
So what, to here, maybe?
Yeah.
I'd give you to get him to here.
Yep.
Okay. And you're good. Probably a little bit generous. And around, what is that distance? 10 foot. You could probably actually go a bit further than 10 foot, actually. You tell me where you want to put him. Up to Keros.
Well, yeah, towards Keros, but maybe slightly behind the box. Actually, maybe more towards Mythfan a little bit. Yeah, like kind of around there if he can.
Okay, done. Yep, that's his action.
Cool.
Excellent. Next to act is Leif.
I assume Leif has seen this creature.
Peering out round, yes, you would have. Yeah, you can see it. You saw it as it moved through bits of it. You saw the spray of darts come out.
He would like to. Thank you. He'd like to run to his right, if he can fit between the statue and the wall, and he'd like to run up and, and if he can, do a flank attack on it.
Yep. I'm not going to ask for any maneuvers or anything. You've got a clear movement. It's basically 10 foot, so I'm going to give you the free movement. And yes, you'd get a flank on it. And again, you're using a medium weapon, but you've got a flank rather than a frontal attack on it. So give me an unimpeded attack. Give me a roll, please.
Yeah, 45.
Okay.
Plus, hang on a second, 114, not 119.
Yep, got it.
I think, because he's using that new sword.
Mm-hmm. I've got 114. Done.
Cool, thank you.
Yes, that is a solid 12 in a C, and it is a large creature crit. Now, this is a magic weapon, correct?
Yeah, sure is. 12 in a C. I'm just going to double... Sorry, I should have... Oh, that's right. Where are we? Not that. Where's my bloody sword? Long sword, a +5 magic weapon with specifically magic against undead. Wraiths and rights. Just...
Cool. Give me a roll when you're ready.
Cool. 99.
Roll again.
Oof. Oh, no way! 97.
Roll again.
Oh, God. Sorry. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, 18.
214.
I'm glad I didn't roll that on my bloody fireball crit, I have to say. I'm sorry, Chris.
Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, go on.
Strike severs foe's spine, +15 hits. The creature collapses on the ground. And it's... Oh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. So it collapses on the ground. It's down. And then the last part of it, sadly, your weapon breaks in half.
Oh no!
There is a horrible snap, and your magical broadsword snaps, Leif. You no longer have that sword. Or you do, but it's in pieces.
Oh. Well, it did its job.
It goes down.
Wow.
However, it is still... Well, it still roars at you. It's not moving on the ground, but it still roars at you. Next to act is Mythfan.
Yep, just because it's down, she doesn't know. Yep, she'd be out and she'd give it a chop as well. But now, so hang on. Only space is where Neathanel was, correct?
No, I would say there is enough room for... That's a flank. That's front. There is... I mean, that's slippery with blood, but poor Demos. But you can get in there. There is space there.
Yeah, she would... Sorry, I'm just trying to think. What she had the presence of mind to do.
sorry, put Neathanel back behind the door. Oh, yeah, and Neathanel has moved back behind the door. She said.
Yeah. Just gonna. Right, I'm just gonna do that actually. Just doing a little roll for myself to decide.
Yeah,
what she's
sure,
gonna do.
sure thing,
Yeah.
sure thing.
Yeah, no, okay. So my role was thinking, is she going to have the presence of mind to have noticed if Keros has done anything to give her the space to do an attack, or Tark?
Yeah.
I was saying over 50. She sort of had gathered her wits enough, or just sort of had done the thinking to check.
Sure.
Didn't get that, so she's going to go ahead and do an attack. She's going to move into that space and do a medium range attack on it, please. Is that right? So she can move into medium range? Oh, no, she had to be at long range, right? Or is it? It's now down.
It's now down. Good point. So all bets are off. No, you can move straight up to it.
Cool. She'd like to do that, please.
The idea of the range is that it's got something long out in front of you, and it's big. It's now down, so she can move directly up to it and attack unimpeded.
She would like to do that, please, with her. Yeah.
So this thing is unmoving. It is unmoving. So we've typically said if you've got a helpless person, someone that's unconscious or unmoving, all you have to roll is a non-fumble and you can slay your foe. And I think that would stand.
Okay, she'll take that.
Yeah, thought you might like that.
Yeah, absolutely. She rolled a 19, so not a great roll, but...
What happens?
Can we see the picture of it again, please? Pick her. Yeah, up through the roof of its mouth if she can reach there. Yeah, with her broadsword.
And then just smashes it a few more times.
Yeah.
It does roar once and then goes quiet. It stops moving. I'd have to say that kill goes to Leif. It's killed 15th
This game,
level.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Killed 15th level. You just don't know with this game. Sorry, a little bit of an interlude from the GM.
Cool creature.
Phew.
A few.
Nice work, Leif.
Well, poor Leif's
I mean, it's one of the fun things about this game, Chris. I was reading a blog online where an 8th level character killed a 26th level dragon by rolling like 498. And they basically, so the odds of doing that are something like 1 in 125,000.
Yeah.
But anyone can kill anyone, anytime. It is quite fun.
Case in point. That was a critical of 214. Yeah.
Just lucky.
So
no.
I'm going
Just seeing Demos down in raged Leif. It was a pure skill and fury. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Alex. I spoke over you.
Oh no, it's your glory time. I was going to say I'm going to have to go to sleep.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's been a busy week for you.
Yeah, I'm nodding off nicely as I'm listening to the story and I'm thinking, don't fall asleep. 100%. I know the game's not over, but Vader goes to Leif for sure.
Couldn't be anything but, right? Well, thus far.
Goodness me. Oh, you drew the fireball and then...
Yeah, true. He's had quite a game.
Good.
Sleep well,
He's on
Alex.
fire.
He's on fire. Quite. Nice one, Alex.
Thank you.
Take it easy,
Good
sweet.
night.
I'm happy to
Take-
look after Chaos again. She's fun.
Yes.
Nice one. Thank you, Giles.
I
Look-
might just need a little bit of
Night, sweetheart.
time, Chris, because now I'll be jumping between two characters.
Oh,
but
God,
I
yes.
don't know
Yes.
well.
Yep. Night, sweetheart. She's gone. Okay.
Thanks, Charles.
Crikey. Okay. Immediate after, and thank you, Giles, for leaping in. Nice work, Pete. Immediate aftermath of that, and I'd say good thinking from Gray dragging Demos out of harm's way. Okie dokie. Let's go into cleanup action. Let's go around each character. What does the Ethanol do in the next 5 or so minutes?
So, look, I think what Neathanol's going to want to do is see what's going on with the party, and then we'll probably want to creep into this room, checking for traps, and take a look around. So that's where their interest is going to be.
Cool. Done. Mython?
Mythan would go and tend to Demos. Diagnostics, or if he's obviously bleeding, stop his bleeding first, and then I guess we can call on Kiros for Mythan would go and minister to Demos as best she can, whatever that involves.
Great, thank you. Excellent. There we go. Cool. Moving around. What would Etienne do, folks?
I guess he's a bit hurt too. Not badly, but maybe he would just go and try and see if he can get a little bit of medical attention once Demos has been looked after.
Okay. He's just taken hits, so he was on 136. He's now on 127. So just taking a bit of a battering, but he's still aching a bit. Leif, general kind of description of what's happening.
Yeah, he would, I guess, want to check that it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Switch out his carefully and reverently lay the sword hilt down next to it. Get his old sword back out. Is that
magical?
Yeah, plus 10 magical. It's the one from the flying beast in the woods.
Oh yes. Yep.
Yes, I think you got it from there. I think. I'll double check that. And would check up on Demos, but otherwise he'd sort of be wanting to be doing a bit of guarding, actually, just sort of checking, doing some perceptions, perhaps examining this beast a bit more, pulling it out of the doorway if appropriate, if possible.
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll go through each action in a bit. Each person. Gray and Demos.
Gray would be also keen to investigate this beast and see if he can see or smell or sense anything that's behind where it was in that room. How dark is it in there? Can they see anything?
It's dimmer. There's definitely less lights in here than in the main chamber, but you can see in. I'll come to what you can see in a second. So Gray would head forward with Neathanol to have a look. Cool. Demos, I guess, is not doing a lot, bleeding at 7 hits per round. And
he does actually. I found he does have first aid. Could he do a little bit of first aid on himself while everyone else helps him?
You could try, but you're at negative 120 to the roll.
Oh, maybe better not to. Just want to make it worse.
Yep. And then finally, what would Kiros and Tarquin do?
So I think Kiros would want to tend to. Oh, I should know, but is it Gray or Demos would want to be by their side and seeing if there's something they could do. Is Demos the one who's busy bleeding at 10 hits?
Yes.
Yeah, Demos is currently bleeding.
So Karos would definitely cast this level 10 spell to try and work this out exactly.
Yep.
Which presumably will make any first aid much better.
Okay, great. And then lastly, so we'll come to that, and then lastly, Tarquin.
Okay, so Tarquin would come out, see what's happened,
Hi.
walk past this, would see that, he'd be like, yeah, good on you, bros. Would see that someone's busy looking at this creature. He's also pretty interested in the creature, but job number one, I think, would be to go into this room where Neathanel is.
Yep.
And he'd want to be doing some perceiving and using his demon and devil lore to see what it is in this room that this creature that's presumably been waiting hundreds of years for enters is protecting. So he wants to be in the room that just opened
Okay.
to see what is in there.
Great. Okay. So kind of, and Leif, you're saying you're on guard duty, keeping an eye out. So I've put you there for argument's sake. Etienne, perhaps much the same, perhaps staying roughly where he is, and then some healing over here. Let's go to. So this is happening simultaneously because Demos is bleeding a lot at the same time. 7 hits around. That's a lot. Just what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the checking the other this bit, the looking inside the room bit. If I can ask Aiden, there were a lot of attacks on Demos that we went through. I think there were 5.
Yes.
Did you record how many the individual hits from these tiny little no, decent size actual darts?
Got the 7+C.
So, but are they? Have you listed each one as a separate injury? Because I've got probably the main injury on you, but I don't have all the smaller ones to hand. It's in my it's in my system, my combat system.
He got his shoulder and his leg.
Yep.
And what else was there? One one rebounded off him.
Yep.
That's that's all I've kind of written down. Sorry.
Okay, but so his foot, let's just call it the foot, etc., is the most severe, and that's at -75. What I'm curious to hear is the other injuries that he's got, which total 45. You don't know where those other injuries are on.
I've just got I've just got the shoulder and the leg were the ones I wrote down.
But the actual individual penalties, you don't know which is which.
No,
okay.
No, sorry.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. That's cool. So, okay, we'll come to Demos's injuries in a second. So, firstly, Neathanel, you're going to look for traps. So you come up, Neathanel. Do you step over this horrible dead thing, kind of oozing, kind of whitish, creamy slime out of its multiple injuries? And my goodness, it reeks. It is just utterly vile. You're almost gagging stepping over it.
So I think Neathanel would wait for Tarquin to come up to them.
Yep.
And someone's going to move this creature. Was it Lath who said they were going to move the creature? So I think they would wait for Lath to move the creature out of the doorway so they can pass it safely. They don't want to spike themselves on any of these spikes that remain on it.
It's going to require definitely are going to require more than one person to move it. This thing's big. It's 8 foot. It's going to weigh several hundred pounds.
Does anyone have a levitate or a fly spell they could cast on this creature?
Yeah, Gray has levitate.
Why don't you levitate it and then we can just, make a channel and move it?
Yep. Gray would like
can we do that, Chris?
Sure.
And then cast some levitate on the beast.
Give me a roll.
Cool.
Does it have to be on a willing target though? I can't remember.
What about if it's dead?
What does it say in the spell?
Ooh, good question. Hold on, caller. Levitate target can move up or downwards at any rate of 10 per round. Movement is vertical. Horizontal movement is possible only if other means are used. Levitating up to the ceiling and then walking along the ceiling by hands.
So this is a target doing something, levitating themselves. It's not an object that you levitate.
Okay. That won't work then.
So levitate won't work?
by my reads, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure as a target, it means, and by describing how much the target can move, I don't think it's an object. I think it's a person, but I might be wrong.
No, so
Yeah,
has
no.
anyone got float? Because float would do it.
Float would do it, yeah.
He also has float.
But let's hear the description first. But
So that one says target's body becomes so light as air so that they drift with the wind. Target cannot control their movement.
Okay, so if you can float the body, Tarquin can use Mind's Door and just jump into the room. So it can jump through the creature to a place he can see, and then if everyone gets out of the way, you can just give him a nudge in his ass, where there are none of these spikes as far as I can see, and he'll just float out of the way. That would work, wouldn't it?
again, though, it says
Is it because it says target and
Yeah.
it's not alive anymore that it's no longer a target?
It can be any target. You can float anything, can't you? You can float a rock, you can float a totem, you could float a...
it's an actual definition.
Should I ask ChatGPT?
Yeah.
I've got target here.
Yeah, great, please. Thanks,
On a
Pete.
spell law, the term target or targets refers to the beings, animals, objects,
Okay.
and or material the spell is attempting to affect.
Oh, okay.
In
So-
which case, the first thing to do would be for Tarquin to cast Mind's Door and jump into the room on the other side of the creature, for everyone to get out of the way, cast Float, and then we can kick it out of the way. Because there are no spikes at its rear end, are there, Chris?
No.
They all seem to be at the front end. Yep.
Yep.
So that seems safe. Yep. So that seems like the sensible way to do it.
It's got some on its back, but not underneath it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
For some reason, target. I'd be more inclined to go with float than I would levitate, because that involves action.
I agree.
Whereas float is just completely static. Yep. Okay. So give me a float roll, please.
Cool. Do we want to do that mind thing first?
I think I need to jump beyond it first, Chris.
Oh, sure. Yep, you're going to jump into the room. Go for it.
So I'll jump into the room just beyond the target. Obviously, prepare, chanting, all that stuff.
So, firstly, in terms of what you can see in the room.
Oh, yes. Helpful.
Or you can just jump in sight
So the best question actually is, can I jump beyond the target and not jump into the room? So can I jump to, oh, crikey, rats. Can I jump to just this little part in the door that's not in the room but past the target?
No, because this thing is large and it's sprawled everywhere. So you'd have to.
Okay, well, I'll just essentially what I want to do is jump as close to the target but clearly missing it as I can. If I end up in the room, I end up in the room.
Yep. No, you will be in the room. So the room is not large. It's circular. It looks like this. GM didn't quite get the opportunity to finish it off in terms of furnishing it. It's 17, as you can see there, 17 foot in diameter. It has got kind of mouldering stuff in the corner. Looks like more broken pottery, perhaps some old boxes or something. And it's got the remains of a desk in here with what looks like a book and an inkwell on top of it, a leather book.
No sword emanating evil that we can see.
Sadly not. Sadly not.
I'm still going to jump to about. So you see where your marker is. I mean, I'm just going to jump into the room behind the creature, basically.
Done. Go ahead.
Not quite that far.
Cool.
Yeah, so about there is fine.
Give me a roll. Give me a roll. Fails on a 1 or a 2.
61.
61. You are all good, Tarquin. You jump into the room. Cool. What happens
now? Gray will cast float on the beast.
Okay. Give me a roll. Again, it fails on a 1 or a 2.
Cool. 66.
66.
Woohoo!
It is now floated, and it begins to just waft upwards.
And so I'm going to wait, until people are out of the way, and then I'm just going to basically give it a kick. So it ends up floating away and not bumping into anything in case it releases those darts.
Okay.
So I want it to float sort of into the middle of the room, right? Yeah, get it out of the way.
And yeah, there's a decent kick to it, and it drifts off. It bounces into that, and then it bounces off this way. How long does the float last for, please?
It lasts.
You can cancel it any time.
Or 1 minute per level, so 8 minutes.
Okay. You can cancel it with a round preparation, or rounds, if you wish. But otherwise, it's just this horrible critter is kind of floating with this white kind of slime, kind of creamy, almost like pus-looking fluid draining out of its body. It's left a trail of this reeking white pustulous substance over here as it's floating.
You're enjoying this a little bit too much, Chris.
Tarquin, you're now inside the room. What happens?
I want to do perception, and obviously Nathaniel will join Tarquin, and we want to investigate this room, traps, somewhere to put a key, some sword-looking device, somewhere to put a dagger. Is this where we might find the sword? That's the key question, right? Or is there some obvious or less obvious sort of explanation for how we might be able to approach the statue?
Sure.
So I'm wondering if there's a puzzle in the 4 rooms, we've got to solve these, and then we can go to the statue. That something like that.
Okay, sure thing. Okay, so can I please get a perception roll from both Neathanel and Tarquin, and first a detect traps roll for both of them, and then a perception roll. So let's go for the 2 detect traps rolls, please. What's the first one, please, Giles? Hello? You're on mute, mate.
Sorry. The detect trap roll for Neathanel is 33, very upsettingly.
It's master, remember?
Oh, that could be good then.
Yep. What's your bonus?
It's 53.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, and Tarquin?
So Tarquin's detect traps roll was 99.
Cool. And his skill, which would be half?
He half of general perception, which is minus 25 is 40.
Okay, plus 40, thank you. Okay, you both carefully investigate this room. Neither character can see anything untoward. Gray, anything that you've just cast float on this critter, and it's kind of oozed this horrible substance behind it as it's kind of drifting down the room. What are you doing now, please?
He's just percepting and sniffing, and he's not really too keen to go in there.
Okay, cool. So that was two detect traps. Again, guys, I'm not going to really, the whole idea of just constantly, and then I do a perception, and then I do a perception, and then I do a perception, is kind of gaming it. So between the 3 characters, 2 perception rolls. So Gray, Tarquin, and Neathanel. Which of those?
Probably Gray and Neathanel.
Tarquin will definitely do one of those perception rolls. So even at minus 25, his perception's 80.
Okay.
And I think Neathanel's is pretty high as well.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just.
Cool. So 1 from Tarquin, 1 from Neathanel.
I'm just checking Neathanel's. Where is Neathanel's perception? Oh yeah, 75. Right, so they both have a good perception.
Sure thing.
Okay, so
first, master, of course.
So, Neathanel's 81.
81. Yep. Plus.
Which is plus 75
Thank you. And then Tarquin?
is 12, and he's plus 80. Oh no, plus 90. Sorry, I think.
With his negative 25.
105. No, plus 80. Thank you.
Yep. You all three. I mean, Gray, you're kind of call it you're assisting in this. You're part of it, but those two are actually the ones doing the role. You have a good check out of the room, and as described, yes, some rubbish, some garbage in the corner, mouldering desk. There's a leather bound notebook on the table, be about that big. And a couple of quills lying around in an empty inkwell. The desk looks pretty decrepit and wormy and pretty grim. You can't see anything other than that in here.
I think Tarquin will go and look at the book.
You'll go on what, sorry?
Go and look at the book.
Yeah.
Open it.
Yeah, sure. Again, it's in this script that is unfamiliar to you, or at least that you can't read. You recognise it as being similar methods to the ones out in the main hallway.
Okay, so here's a read rune skill. Will that make any difference?
You can give it a try, sure. Yeah, give me a roll.
22.
Pass, remember. Okay, and what's his read runes?
Minus 25, it's 1.
Okay. Yeah, he's got no idea.
Yeah, well, he'll take the book and show it to others because other people might know.
Okay, sure thing. Mark it down. Leather-bound book would weigh about a pound. Quite reasonably heavy. Reasonably weighty. Okay, so while that was happening, there is some medical stuff going on. What medical? There was several things. So between Keros and Mitham, what are you guys doing, and who would act first? Do we think?
Well, perhaps it could be simultaneous. I'm not sure, but if if on approaching Demos, I assume Mithan notices he's bleeding. I think.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No. Yep.
She would want to cast Flow Stop 5 on him.
Okay. Give me a roll.
So she'd probably, she would want to prepare. Grudgingly, she's going to prepare 2 rounds.
Okay. So.
Which is not great.
Yep, 7. I'm going to give it 3 by the time she comes up and does stuff. So Demos has lost another 21 hits.
Oof. Yeah.
He's bleeding heavily. Bleeding a lot. Minus 21. He's on 73.
Okay.
Still conscious.
She rolled a 3.
She rolled a 3. That is not.
I thought it was a 1 or 2.
It's what it is, 1 or 2. No, you're fine. You're fine. You are fine. I was getting all excited there.
Can I just check if she hadn't prepared 2 rounds, there'd be at negative 30. But would that have been a problem?
Yes.
Right. So okay.
Because remember, there is no touching for a utility spell. So so absolutely it would have been a problem.
Okay. I won't regret doing that.
No.
Cool. The spell is this is different. She's got 2 types of stopping bleeding spell. Flow Stop, which is that the target can't be moved, is one. Clotting is where they can be. Yeah, but anyway, she's on Flow Stop 5, which is that she can allows the caster to stop bleeding at a rate of 5 hits per round, spread across 1 to 5 targets. The target may not be moved, or bleeding will resume at prior rate.
Okay. So he was bleeding at 7. He's now bleeding at 2. Correct?
Cool. If she notices he's still bleeding, she'd like to do 2 more spells, and these will be clotting. Well, if that's a doable thing.
Yep.
Cool. I'll prepare for 2 rounds for each of these.
Okay, so 4 more rounds. 2 times 4, another 8 hits. Demos is on 65 hits. Poor Demos. He's normally on 135.
Jeez, creepers.
So at the end of so give me a couple of rolls.
So 75 for the first one,
Success.
which is stops at one bleeding at rate of 1 hit per round.
Yep.
And for 1 hour, the target can move at no more than a walking pace, or the bleeding will resume.
Yep.
Yep. And then a second, so 2 more rounds after that. So that's 2 more hits, I guess.
2 more hits. Yes.
Yep. She'll cast a second one of those, which is successful. Yep.
So, and this is probably happening simultaneous as Keros is doing stuff, perhaps as well. After quite a few hits, and I actually got a little bit eager with how many rounds that Demos was bleeding for. He's on 76 hits.
Okay.
But the bleeding has stopped, courtesy of Mithan's very useful spells.
Thank you.
So while that was going on, or after that's going on, your call, what does Keros do, please? I think that's you, Giles, kindly stepping in.
Yeah, I think Keros would just want to be there and do care, right? I don't think Keros is up to much else, unless other people disagree.
Yeah, because I suppose it's over to Demos, but would be just ask. Mithan is there and should be asking him amongst us. How are you feeling? Where does it hurt?
The leg.
Yep.
Does Keros need to cast the diagnostic spell to absolutely nail it down?
My guess would be if we've established that he won't be able to stand, and I suppose he'll probably be able to tell us that.
Demos is he can stand, but he's in a huge amount of pain.
Yeah, I reckon I don't think Mithan's record for diagnostics is not hot. She did make things worse. So
in which case, Keros will cast this level 10 prosaic.
Done. Please give me a roll. It fails on a 1 or a 2.
36.
36. Spell successful. So, as just discussed with Aiden, the software that I've got has recorded all of those injuries, and I'll be able to, after the game, accurately record how many injuries and how much Demos was injured with each injury. Yep, no worries. I will do that after the game. But the one thing that Keros definitely picks up, and I'm assuming shares, is Demos's Achilles tendon has been slashed, badly slashed. He's knocked down. He was knocked down and stunned, no parry for 3 rounds. He was bleeding, 1 hit off that, but critically, because of that slash muscle, he's at negative 75.
Well, so I guess Keros would tell the team this and ask if anyone has a skill or a spell that can repair an Achilles tendon. So probably going to be first aid or surgery. I know there's a surgery skill.
Pipe up and say she's got ARP Susar, 1 dose left. Muscle, cartilage, and tendon repair, heals all in body, 6 hours, stalk, brew. She's not keen on preparing it because of the same problem as last time. Nudge, nudge.
Keros can cast that crazy, prepare the spell.
I'm really regretting Keros getting that prosaic healing list.
I'm loving this list, man. It's the best list in the universe.
It's it's not so good at lower levels, but my goodness, it's tough further up. Okay.
So I think, I'm interested in what other people think, but I think Keros would definitely want to cast a spell to prepare this, and I think we should use it because minus 75 makes them useless. Karis would not stand for that.
Mithan doesn't. Of course, Mithan doesn't have any spells to heal. Nothing like that. She's only got blood and hit regeneration stuff. But yeah, she would definitely agree.
Okay, so might need your help just a little bit to make sure we get the order right here, Chris. But we want to do this.
Okay. So a rinse.
So we'll prepare it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And basically, the conclusion that we came to last time with healing Etienne was no need for a fire even. It just was instantly prepared, I think was the conclusion. Am I right? Yep. Great.
Yep.
So give me a roll. It fails on a 1 or a 2. You'd have to produce some kind of pot or something for him to drink out of, but you did that before. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
52.
52?
Yep, hang on, I'll just go keep an eye on this. Yep. Can you, sorry, which level spell is this? Just so I keep a track of things for... Hang on, I'll find it.
I think it's the 9th one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Herbal remedy. Yeah, because Nicholas has got the same list.
Yep, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's now ready, and
how long does it say with that herb, Pete? How long it takes for effect?
In our sheet, it says heals all in body, 6 hours.
6 hours. There you go. 6 hours it is.
Yep. And thank goodness it's a brew again, so just drinking it rather than having to apply, which is the problem, Elon.
Correct.
and I guess Karis will do the host sit down, head rubbing there.
Excellent. So critically, you've had a couple of absolutely critical herbs, exactly the ones you needed, but you are now out of critical herbs. Am I right in thinking? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It's going to start getting.
Oh, we've got a couple of others, but those were those are the decent ones.
Yeah.
We've got.
Just give us frost creatures from now on, Chris. I got a bunch of frost protection herbs.
Excellent. So what I'll do to tie it into the next game, I will total up the other injuries that Demos has. By far and away, that was the most severe. And the others, I think, were relatively minor in comparison. I'll figure out what they are and we can go from there. So it's 6 minutes past 10. I'm good to play on until 30:30 if you guys wanted to. I'm also very happy to call that there as a natural end to the game. What do you want to do?
I might call it there just because I have a bit of work I need to finish tonight.
Goodness. You are game, Aiden.
Got to pay for those holidays.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Rolling credits there, folks. Game of 2 halves for Leif. Fireball 1 half. And squishing a critter with another. Nice work.
Well played.
Well played. Well played.
It was a cool session.
Oh, fun session, thanks, Chris.
You betcha. You betcha. You betcha. And thank you to one and all for just stepping in and just helping other players and playing other characters. It really is. 'Tis appreciated.